Well, welcome back, everyone, to the Epics of Irindal, our homebrew campaign world. Last time, our trio had accompanied Parathava back to the palace atop the Golden Plateau of the city of Callista, the palace of Sultan Gesh, the Golden Dragonborn, ruler of the city of Callista and the whole of the Jamila dynasty, to report upon the dangers potentially looming in the shadow of the city. Upon arriving in the palace, a heated discussion went underway, and the Sultan was not apt to hear the warnings of a group of strangers to his kingdom, much or even less his one of his own commanding officers, given that he appeared to be still in tremendous grief of losing a child recently, as well as seemingly the heir to the throne of Callista. But you all did meet another individual, another seemingly mundane individual, but that would be a deceiving appearance, to say the least, as you all met one Master Arcanist Darius Oberson, a powerful dwarven spellweaver of the magistrate, of the Magisterium Arcanum, if you will. In fact, the de facto leader of this cabal of continental wizards and spellweavers across Irindal. You accompanied him back to the tower in the Silver Plateau, where he exchanged some information about these intellect devourers with you all. The following morning, unable to leave the city, or her orders quite clear this time around to seek out the killers or those responsible for the death of the once heir to the throne of Callista, Parathava met with you all, giving you passes, if you will, to a tavern called the Railway, and said that you would know where to go from there, and stating that Gamil Gesh, the former commander of the Silver Talons, the most prestigious group of soldiers within the Jamila dynasty, was in a city known as Tafar, to the far north along the Jamila River, and that if you all were to head to this tavern, you would find your way there in no time at all. After a bit of struggle trying to find this location, you all met with an individual known as Tarmo, a half-elven man, very eccentric half-elven man who delighted in learning languages of the world, and exchanged some small talk with you all. And you soon to find that this is one of the main proprietors of the railway, who guides you to a platform just on the outer skirts of the city of Callista. There you waited patiently, a bit confused as to why a tavern would be out in this desolate part of the city, almost into the deserts and into the mesas on the outskirts of Callista. But you were soon greeted with a strange mobile tavern that you did not expect, a arcane locomotive known as the Railway Tavern, a locomotive that moved north to south along the Jamila River and was one of the few means of transport currently allowed to move back and forth through the empire, or through the dynasty, if you will, post death of the young prince. After boarding, you all had a bit of an excursion trying to enter into the higher tier cabins, almost successfully, until the last moment where a bit of a slip up resulted in you all being seemingly locked out on the backside of the mithril cabin before you resigned yourselves to simply enjoy your dinner and a bit of the revelry and entertainment that the Railway Tavern offered, sharing in some drinks, a bit of conversation with some of the conductors and staff, as well as listening to the beautiful songs of the resident singer aboard the railway. But just as the night seemed to be growing long in the tooth, the music was cut short by horrified screams on the back end of the tavern itself in the observation car, as an unfamiliar voice of one of the staff members came upon the intercom, hinting at an incursion of creatures known as bone collectors, urging all of the staff and the tavern goers to remain calm, as they were ordered to go back to their rooms until such time that the tavern could be once again secured. Now stopped stationary in the depths of the desert, you all find yourselves being escorted back to your lodgings for the evening by members of the Railway Tavern. You notice a deepened concern from some of the individuals as you hear whispers back and forth of what occurred just mere moments ago, while you all were enjoying yourselves in the entertainment and dining car. You hear one of the boarders say,
"We need to be careful. Try not to spook all the guests, but at least 2 individuals, maybe even 3, were abducted from the observation deck."
You would catch this, Dazes, and so would you, Floof, with your passive perception. You would hear the bits and pieces of gossip between the conductors as they urge you all into your room. And just as you're about to enter your room within the ruby cart, you see one of the familiar faces within the dining and entertainment cart making quite a fuss at the opposite end of the ruby cart, being urged to head back to the platinum cart, not too far along the remainder of the tavern. The larger man, dressed in a tad bit gaudy and overly pronounced silks and furs, and I'll go ahead and pull them up, and I have a bit of artwork that I added along last time for you all, but let's see here. Let me pull up the arts for you all, so we can remind everyone what we are looking at here. But you would be in one of the boarding cart rooms, essentially. These are not necessarily in order, but one of the rooms that look like the one just below the engine itself, with these separate dormer doors on each side. Do you see this individual? Just a moment here. Okay, he should be already in your journals, but I'll show this man again. Lord Tav Garmon, a rotund man wearing regal-looking furs and silks. You see him on the far side.
I will not be turned and told to go back to my room like a child. What is going on? Explain to me in detail.
As this is going on, what are you all doing?
So do we just hear his voice, or is he in the same guard as us and we can see him?
You see him. He's at the end of... I mean, you can't not hear him. He's got quite a robust voice as he's, at this point, essentially shouting from the... Just on the opposite side. You all are about 2/3 of the way down the car. Just about to enter your room. You see this man basically at the opposite end, maybe about 20 or 30 feet to the end of the car, being urged to go back to his quarters for his own well-being by some of the porters and staff.
Are we still in the same car where we were having drinks? Like, that's where we are currently?
No, you've been taken back to the Ruby Cart where your room is.
Okay.
But you see there's quite a bit of bustle as they're moving the guests back to their designated carts or other safe, maintainable locations as the staff are moving about quickly, trying to assess the situation as well as maintain safety for those guests that are still aboard the railway. And there's a bit of confusion. All you know is that there was some sort of incursion by creatures known as bone collectors that you all understand are like long undead, almost livestock-like creatures that have basically herds of these hungering undead, essentially, out in the desert that have been died in unfortunate circumstances and essentially have become a pack of these ravenous creatures out in the desert. And they are known as bone collectors because they particularly savor the marrow of any prey that they can get a hold of. And that they're not particularly dangerous on an individual level, but they do operate in packs.
Are we moving right now or no?
You're being urged. You've kind of stopped at this point, but you're being urged to return back to your rooms by one of the porters, one of the basically the under conductors of the train. Individuals not unlike the small goblin woman that you conduct, staff wearing similar garb, who basically conduct business during the operation of the arcane locomotive.
Okay.
I'm just trying to follow instructions and not get in anybody's way and asking, dumb questions like what are bone collectors and what's going on.
As you all are observing this, you hear another voice, a female voice this time, shouting and screaming even louder as she storms in to this collection, or into the Ruby Cart, trying to move, but coming from the opposite end of where you are, trying to move towards the back of the train. I will not be silenced, damn it! What is going on? Where's my sister? Where's my brother-in-law? What has happened to them? And you see a kind of regal-looking, half-orcish woman trying to storm through this cart, trying to move as swiftly as she can back to the back of the cart, basically trying to move north to south, heading south towards the epicenter of this whole incident.
Is this lady by us?
There would be like about 2 or 3 staff members between you and her, and they're stopping her at this point, urging her to stay where she is, as going outside puts, you hear the voice,
Ma'am, please, you must stay inside. We can't allow you to go outside. It is not safe.
I'm gonna tell her that we just heard a couple people were abducted from the ship, or from the train.
You heard what? Where are my sister and my brother-in-law? Where are they?
So that's what that guy said, and I'll point to whoever I overheard that from.
Stirring more trouble.
At this point, you hear the booming voice of Lord Garmon come on again.
I knew it. You have no idea what you are doing here as proprietors of this establishment. How do you intend to protect us?
At this point, coming in from behind Lord Garmon, you see Tarmo coming in now through the door, his face just covered in beads of sweat, as you see him moving feverishly from the outside inwards, accompanied by the small 2-foot high-ish goblin staff member, Prim, that you all were seeing around the dining car during the whole evening's festivities, and then now this incident. And you see him kind of whispering and passing information. And from this distance, Dazes and Floof, you would kind of overhear, I understand, but we cannot. We simply cannot justify putting any more lives in danger, whether they be staff or otherwise. We simply cannot. I cannot allow this. We simply must address this at the next stop with the appropriate individuals of the authorities of that jurisdiction. We simply cannot put anybody at risk. We don't have the manpower. You hear the little goblin girl. Her voice is so faint, even with your passive perception, it is almost impossible. As you watch as Tarmo's kind of leaning down as she's kind of whispering in his ear to speak to him. And you just hear the faintest of mumbles, but it's extremely difficult to tell what words are being exchanged. What do you mean, bounty? We don't have... There are no bounty hunters. There are no adventurers aboard this tavern. What are you even suggesting, Prim? That we hire our guests to clean up our business? What do you mean?
You could hire me.
You watch as the little goblin girl turns and looks at you, and as well as Tarmo. I do appreciate your enthusiasm, sir, but I simply cannot put your life at risk. This is a dangerous situation, and I ask that you return to your room, please.
We are mercenaries for hire. That's why we're on this train, so...
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Okay.
If somebody, since you both kind of initiated this, I'll go ahead and give you advantage, since you're both kind of doing this simultaneously.
Oh, so good that I had advantage. One was 6, one was 15.
Okay.
So 15 after, plus my persuasion. So that's a 17?
17. Not bad. What are your qualifications? I simply cannot put people at risk, but we simply don't have the manpower to handle a swarm of bone collectors at this time. we are just a simple company of engineers and entertainers. We're not fighters. The only one aboard this locomotive that even has any type of fighting experience might be Brandir, but he has to stay here to operate the arcane engine. But explain to me how you intend to... And as he's saying this, you watch, now that you've kind of announced yourselves as adventurers, you watch as this noble woman, or noble half-orcish woman looks at you all. Whatever you want, find my sister and my brother-in-law. If you can bring them back here, I will pay anything. Please bring them back. They were taken by those awful things.
Can you?
Looks like we got a job to do.
Yeah. Can you briefly describe what they look like?
She begins to describe in a very hurried manner, and as she's making these descriptions, you all kind of remember you've already encountered these two individuals earlier.
Was it the two?
Yes.
Was it? Oh.
Same two individuals that you all had run-ins with earlier in the day trying to sneak aboard the mithril cabin are those in question, those missing. Among the two or three that you are aware of that have gone missing.
Oh, I say this as an aside, not to the lady, but I was like, oh, we're gonna make them eat humble pie.
What's humble pie?
Well, it's a meal that doesn't feel very good going down. Without elaborating.
Why would we eat that?
Exactly.
We don't have time for this.
we don't have time. We don't have time. Later.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. Do we still have to convince the conductor of our qualifications? I mean, at this point, I'm saying crossbows out, like, weapons are drawn, kind of thing. Is there any other display of prowess that he's
Make it
looking
Floof
for?
just like pick up the conductor and move him out the way.
You watch as Parmo, with your persuasion check from earlier, maintaining that, you watch as he kind of puts his head in his hand and he's grabs a handkerchief from his lapel and begins to wipe the sweat from his brow. Little I preserve us. Well, now that the engine has run cold, and he puts he reaches up and taps one of the arcane stones that you see kind of pressed into the wall with his fingertips. Brandir, can you hear me? You hear this grizzled, deep voice come over the intercom. Hey! What is it, Talmo? I'm in the middle of trying to fire her back up. What do you want? As you hear this voice come over the comms again. How long do you believe that's going to take? Well, we ran her completely cold to fire up the elemental engine one more time. It's an hour or two at minimum. It couldn't have gotten far. It's only been a few minutes. It couldn't have. These creatures, they don't linger too far from potential hunting grounds, as I've recalled. So, but any more than that, and you all are on your own. Do you understand me? As he stares at the three of you. And know that we take zero liability for anything that happens to you. This is on your head. Do you understand me?
I give a thumbs up.
You all are insane. Fine.
Porters, allow them access outside the locomotive. Please do be careful. Don't want to have to explain this to anyone else. Please. You watch as one of the porters opens up the door and you get this kind of rush of not as intense warm air as earlier in the day. It's actually becoming a bit chilled, even by comparison to this rather well-maintained interior of these cart. The temperature is dropping pretty quickly as you are now in the deeper parts of the desert where the evening temperatures can fall quite drastically in contrast to the high temperatures in midday. Almost to the point of freezing at times in certain parts of the desert itself and during certain parts of the year. 2 hours. You have 2 hours. Any time beyond that, and we are leaving. You'll have to find your way back to civilization on your own. You understand me? This is on your heads.
I'm looking up in my head and patting around. What's on my head?
It's a figure of speech. It means you're responsible for your own lives, not us. You made this decision.
I shrug. Okay.
Very well. Let them leave. 2 hours. 2 hours only. As you are escorted off of the cabin car and you watch as they unfold a set of small stairs that brings you down to the rocky, sandy area around the tracks themselves.
As we leave, I say, time to collect some bones.
Hey.
Hey. I would start by heading back to the back of the cart. I'm almost certain there'll be a trail leading. Bone collectors are not the most stealthy things. They attack swiftly and get what they can and leave quickly. Meaning, likely they did not cover their tracks. After that, again, 2 hours. And we watch as he shuts the door behind you. And now you are out in the open, cool evening air of the deserts and mesas surrounding the empty tracks. The railway tavern follows back and forth through the Jamila dynasty, north to south. It is quite dark in here. I believe 2 of you have dark vision, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Floof, you would have a very small amount of light surrounding the train, maybe about 40 feet. Any more than that, it is pitch black.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind.
Got it.
So it's evening.
Yes, it is almost the middle of the night.
Okay. And we are outside of the train, correct?
Yes.
Next to one of the farther back cars.
I would say you're about a little past halfway down the middle of the train. You can see with the lights that kind of the crystal lanterns that kind of run along the outside of the train, and you see the guardrails that you had followed earlier that kind of loop around some of the cars as kind of observation decks on the outside of the cars. And then you can see just at the edge of your dark vision's periphery, the edge of the observation car at the caboose end of the... If you were to turn and head back towards Callista, that would be the direction, basically due south towards Callista. You see the black and gray and colorless outline of the cart, or the edge of the
observation car. They keep this area, that back car, quite dim because they're trying to limit light pollution around that telescope.
Alright.
But at this point, we're going to have a bit of a skill challenge. You all need 3 successes to successfully track this pack of bone collectors. 2 failures, and your time to complete your mission will be cut in half. So,
Okay.
who would like to start, and how are you going about trying to track these creatures?
Okay. I guess I'll go first. So seeing as they said they were, the observation deck was the location of the attack.
Yes, I'll go ahead and pull
Yes,
that. Let me go ahead and pull that picture back up for you all, so you have kind of a visual representation here.
But I guess we can start there.
Okay.
And I mean, I guess we could just, I guess, look for any markings of like blood, or I don't know, claw marks maybe,
Okay. Give
or
me...
damage.
Yeah, of course. Give me either a survival or an investigation check, your choice.
I'm actually better at survival, weirdly enough. What does inspiration do for rolls again?
You can choose to use your... Basically, it's like rolling with advantage. You get to roll another d20 if you don't like the outcome of the first roll.
Okay, so I can roll first.
Yeah, you can roll
Just
first,
use
and and say if you don't roll what you want, you can re-roll again if you'd like.
Okay, let's see how this goes. First one. Oh, okay, no, I'm good with that.
The dirty 20. You're using a survival, right? Yeah.
Yes, survival, yep.
You look for any signs of scuffle, and there are plenty. You look down, and there is, on the edge of these piked gates, you already see there is a torn bit of cloth. It is not a necessarily nice material that you see torn off. In fact, it looks like a very aged rag of some kind, or some sort of leather strapping. And upon closer inspection with that dirty 20, it is not even a cloth at all. It is a flap of weather-dried flesh that hangs on one of these pikes. But in addition to that, you see a pool of blood, fresh blood, to the point where it has not started to blacken and oxidize in the dry air of the desert quite yet. So indicating, and you begin to see there's kind of a path leading south by southeast, away from the observation car. As you see little tiny droplets of blood and the moving and scattering of groups of something or other.
Can I check out the blood, maybe smell it, see if I could find a trail based on that?
Sure. Give me a perception check, or you can use survival. Your choice.
Okay. I'll go perception.
Okay. 14. Yes. You smell the. You get the strong iron smell of blood trickling down the edge of the observation car, and beginning to fall into the sands. It's a bit difficult heading in that direction, but you are able to kind of maintain focus on this scent of fresh blood. You are quite familiar with this this scent, having tracked animals, wounded animals in the forest. This scent of a fresh wound, except this is not an animal you're tracking. This is the smell of humanoid blood.
Okay. And it's going. If it matters, which direction?
Again, you kind of indicate that same south by southeast direction away from the observation into the inky blackness of the night, heading towards some of various rocky outcroppings that you had passed maybe about 3/4 of a mile back along the track south by southeast.
Okay, yeah, I give it a few good sniffs and kind of gesture and point in that direction for trash and disease.
Okay. That is 2 successes. Rash, you need 1 more success to successfully track your prey, if you will, trying to find these bone collectors and the abducted tavern patrons.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like to go about finding these creatures?
Let's see. Could I? I feel like last session, I had to figure out what they were. I had kind of done like some sort of arcana check, because it was like, would it have been information that I would have come across like while I was like reading, or like reading about various creatures or magical things. So would I be able to kind of search my brain on what I know of bone collectors and use that to try to track them, in the sense that like they typically like to hide in dark places, or they move at a speed of this, given where we are and where we're tracking, like that kind of information. Like, would I know enough
Based on what you know in your studies, essentially.
Yeah, like my studies, would that help kind of assist or point the team in the right direction alongside with what they're doing to investigate? Like, would my information be of use, kind of thing?
Yes, I see where you're going with it. Give me your choice, one of 3. Either history, nature, or arcana. Arcana, if you choose to roll that one, will be a bit of a higher DC.
Mm-hmm.
But if you choose to roll nature or history, it is a tad bit lower.
I can do history.
Okay.
I can do history. So I rolled 15 plus my history, which is really good. So 21.
21 with that roll. You recall in your studies, your times with Catherine in several of the various libraries in not only Magnolia, but in some of the outlying townships around the Empire's capital. You vaguely recall some of these creatures coming up in various ledgers and notes surrounding the Jamila dynasty and its expansion through the deep desert, that these creatures first came about when large populations of beasts of burden were abandoned in areas of the deep desert where magical rich deposits were known to be, and that this is what brought about this incidence of undeath in these creatures, and this sense of hunger that resulted in their either dehydration or starvation in the desert kind of brought about these undead rising of creatures known as bone collectors, and several other creatures in this region, a product of their, not only their use, but their death, essentially. And you know that these creatures are, again, and this kind of goes with what you heard from Tarmo, that they are not the most proficient in hiding themselves. They're known for incursions, these flash incursions of ambush and flee, grab what you can and go type deals. So you, following what you get from your information as well as the general direction pointed by both Dazes and Floof, you see the signs of frantic movement in the sands, even though the night is beginning to cloud these and the winds are beginning to overtake some of the trails. But you see this frantic movement that you had studied years ago, and you also see that the frantic moving and dragging of several other objects larger than the bony-like tracks left in the sands, and you are able to use this information, this flash attack type tactics, to determine that yes, this is indeed what you are looking for, as you begin to follow in the darkness, using your past knowledge of these creatures and your studies to further assist your companions as they sniff through the blood trail, as well as follow the tracks through the shifting sands and rocky outcroppings. That is 3 successes in a row. Well done. As you all head south by southeast, following the trail of this group of creatures known as bone collectors. I will bring up the map as it takes you about, we'll say about 20 or 30 minutes before you come to an outcropping, which makes sense in your studies, Trash, that these creatures like to get away as quickly as possible and devour whatever they can, lest they get followed and assaulted. But these creatures operate on more of a fear instinct, a hunger, and they get what you can get and leave type mentality. Very much a hit and run type situation, for lack of a better word. This time you come to several rocky outcroppings that begin to fall down in as the shifting sands. You all can drop yourselves in that patch of area that you can see in the bottom left. You see several rocky outcroppings in this area that extend up, and as the sands begin to fall into this pit-like area, they kind of jet up into these jaggy rock formations, and you see the wind and sands kind of whip around these large rocks, giving sort of a protection from the elements, if you will. But from this distance, you don't hear anything yet, but you still see the signs that a group of creatures did recently come through here, and Floof, you still get that strong iron scent of fresh blood in the air. What would you all like to do?
How tall is this? Like the rocky wall that I put my character on, but I'm not really.
Right where you are there, it is about 15, 16 feet from where Floof and Trash are essentially standing to where you would be on top of the rocks.
Okay.
You can certainly try to climb up there if you'd like, but I'd need an acrobatics or athletics check to do so.
You know what? It's probably easier just to walk up here since this is a hill of some sort.
Yeah,
Just to
you can
get, like,
certainly do that.
Like a better view of the area to the north.
I'll walk and catch up, holding my hands out in front of me because I can't see very well.
I believe you still had that stone that Trash had given you.
Yeah, you can see about 5 foot
Okay,
around you. That's your radius.
Yeah, so I got okay. So maybe not with my hands, but yeah, cautiously.
You carefully walk about with this soft glowing object given to you by your friend and companion, seeing the general area around you, but not much further with your lack of dark vision. Trash and Dazes, from where you stand there, Dazes, the sands below your feet are quite shifting in all movements as you try to kind of step up this incline. Give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
All right.
The 21, yeah, you're able to, with your expertise of walking through wet and loose material along the coastline, you're able to get up to the edge of this initial outcropping, and you watch as these sands kind of fall. From where you are now, it's kind of a 15-foot elevation change from where it is quite steep. Someone less dexterous would easily begin to fall from where you are, but give me just a moment here to measure. From where you stand there, you would see with your dark vision in that location. Go ahead and reveal. Essentially, that is what you would see at the outer edges of your dark vision from where you stand now.
Okay. Quirky might be able to see a good bit of this too, but I'll give a quick description of what I see just for, at least for Floof's sake. Just gonna be like, yep, there's a cavern here with, it looks like that has 2 more, actually 3 more exits or entryways.
Yeah, there's essentially no
Not the
roof
south,
to this.
but-
This is like just jaggedy outcroppings of rocks that have kind of
Yeah.
stick out through the loose material of sand and dirt. And again, you see trails moving. In fact, give me a perception check at this distance. 26. You notice the trail. Yeah, you see quite clearly, even without much effort, or without the use of color or anything, you can kind of see the trail following, contradictory to the natural movement of the sand, that you are... It's different than the coastline where the waves crash and move a lot of this material in a very routine basis. You see that same sort of pattern of natural liquid, as the air itself is a liquid, just, one that serves a different purpose, not unlike the waves and the ocean moving sand and material around in the same sort of manner. But you notice that this pattern is broken heading in that direction.
I relayed this information.
I'm half joking, but do you think if we throw a sandwich in the middle to try to lure them out, that might work?
I'll throw a sandwich.
Okay. Okay. Before, are you trying to throw it from the top where Dazes is at?
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw as you try to climb up this loose sand.
What is it? Do you want to hand me the sandwich? But I guess
No, he said Leroy.
You
His first name.
slip down and fall face first into the loose sand
Oh, no.
and slide all the way back down to the bottom.
Oh no.
over here,
Okay.
covering the sandwich in a thick, coarse layer of sand. It's still a
Oops.
sandwich, it's just covered in sand.
Oh. I hate sand. It's so coarse and it gets everywhere.
That's the of it.
I'll hold up the sandwich for one of you guys maybe to take, or
Yeah, I'll come grab the sandwich
Okay.
and I'll chuck it.
Okay. Give me a. I'll let you use a dex on this one since it is a kind of a ranged attack. Just give me a general
Okay.
dexterity check to see if you can kind of pinpoint where you want to land this bit of bait.
All right, let's see how this goes.
The 12. You are able to throw the sandwich from the edge of this rocky outcropping, this plateau of sorts, down about here. From that
Not terrible.
distance. Yeah. Not super far, but, a good bit of ways. As you hear this sound of it falling against a harder, less loose surface down in the pit of this covered space. Let's see, give me just a moment here. As you're doing this, you hear strange sound. Something that none of the three of you would have recognized. It is equal parts beautiful and ominous. Like the closest in scripture or similar sound I would be able to give to you would be like the sound of wind chimes as it whips through the air, clanking objects together in this weird shuffling movement that slowly begins to get louder. You also hear a bit of, after a few seconds, a bit of what sounds like grinding of bone. Like that sound where Dazes, you would recall, like if you ever got sand in your mouth while swimming, that feeling, that sensation inside your jaw of the bits of coarse material inside your mouth grinding between your teeth. That sound you hear, but on an external level, as opposed to in your own skull. You hear that kind of softly, just on the edge of your periphery, beginning to get closer.
That's not great.
What would you all like to do?
Can I come like down the hill and go up here real quick?
Sure.
See it, and see like where that goes, like 60 feet, if it just leads back into like the same middle cavern basically, which is what I assume.
Sure. Just a moment here. Are you attempting to stealth, or are you how are you going about this? Or are you just climbing down and looking about from where you are?
I'll be honest, I was just looking about.
Okay.
I'm not running, but I'm not sneaking.
Right, you're not actively trying to remain quiet. As you step down in that area, moment, This is what you see. The edge of your periphery here. A little bit more. There's another passage to the north, but the sound you heard was coming further southwest of your position now. Well, in this case, essentially, you all are... I'll write it and so you have a kind of understanding of cardinal direction here. This is north, so south would be... You kind of heard it almost due south of where you arrived from. The sound after you had flung the bit of food into the pit.
From here, do I still hear the same sound coming from where I look I guess more southeast now instead of due south?
Give me one more perception check. 18. It is ever so faint as the subtle sound of those sort of grinding mixed with that and this clanking of some sort of material. Like I said, the sound of almost like this the same sort of sound you would get from like a wooden chime hung in a shop window, that sort of thudding, kind of musical clanking as wind passes over a somewhat hollow object. You hear that bit of bony grinding again. And as this is happening, just on the edge of your periphery, Trash, from where you stand there, you see this ominous dark figure begin to come out. This ominous dark creature begin to slump and scamper out from the darkness beyond, just from the outer edge of your dark vision. You see this creature. It hunches over, almost walking on all fours, but not quite so. Almost skimpering out, these extended bony fingertips stretched out from this taut, muscleless, fleshy, sort of cloak-like layer of skin across its back. The spiny protrusions edging out between the remaining flesh on its body. And in between the sheep skull sockets, now pitch black and lifeless, you see the ever so faint red, beady orbs staring out from the darkness. These ram-like horns edging out and curling backwards as this creature slinks forward, examining the sand-covered bait flung by your companion into the pit. You watch as its head cautiously eyes the object flung into the pit. Its head turning almost 90 degrees and a little bit beyond in this uncomfortably unnatural position. An orientation that for a creature of the living would most certainly mean death. As the neck turns and you hear that grinding of bone. Again, now very clearly coming from this creature as its joints rub with the sand trapped in between. No sinew, no muscle, no semblance of fleshy material remains other than this thin, sun-baked hide stretched taut over this skeletal form, this makeshift, semi-bipedal, fleshy cloak that hangs over, hiding the main form of this creature as it eyes this bit of food in the pit. What do you do?
Yeah, if I can hear it, I kind of don't want to move. I don't want to scare it away. Or I also don't want to like suddenly attack.
From where you stand, you would barely see the bony protrusions of the horns kind of edging around that corner. Just barely at the edge of your dark vision, you would see the beady red eye on the right-hand side.
I don't know how to communicate this without, because I'm obviously... Floof can hear me if I'm whispering, but I'm kind of like...
Could I?
Like I'm basically trying to say like in whisper, but like stage whispering. I'm in position, and then I try to motion to Dazes like like miming bow and arrow, like or my crossbow. So I'm in position, but what about you two, kind of thing?
I'm I guess I'm just reading the room and staying quiet because I can't see this thing, right? I'm just kind of maybe noticing you guys are.
Yeah, I'll try to
being
gesture because you can't see. I'll just kind of do my best to pantomime the literal opposite of my makeup. So I'm with my like soft, slimy body trying to form a skeletal haunch-like creature, and I try to gesture that it's so many paces away and looking at the
Alright.
sandwich.
All right, I'll scratch my head, but I will hold a hand over my light, just to stay dark and not hopefully seen by obviously something in the distance.
You put your large, half-giant hand completely surrounding this small stone as you watch as the soft, warm glow vanish below the flesh of your large hand, and you stand in inky blackness, only vaguely aware of the presence of your companion just a few feet away from you. Crash and Dazes, you watch as this creature continues to approach, the grinding sound of their joints becoming more evident as it lowers its what would have been the snout of a ram's head down towards this small sand-covered bit of food. At the same time, just at the edge of your dark vision, you watch as a similar-looking creature creeps out, followed by another. All three sort of eyeing this strange appearance of sustenance.
It's a party now.
Yep. It's a bone party.
It's a bone zone. Bone saws ready.
Oh my god.
I don't know if you guys know, like, the scene from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I just keep picturing like Captain Hulk going bah, bah. Oh no. I will gesture that there are now 3 to Floof.
Do I see that? Even with my dark. Is it
You
that
don't
dark for me?
see shit.
Okay.
Without dark vision at this distance, you don't see a damn thing. You can barely see trash in front of you. It is pitch black out here.
I internally regret putting out my light.
I just I don't know. We don't have bombs or anything.
Oh no, I'm like no, I have like nothing ranged on me in the slightest.
I know. I can. The problem is I can start it, but it puts y'all at a massive disadvantage because there's nothing you can really do.
I have an ability, but I guess you guys will have to remember that I do and figure out a way for me to be able to see where to put it.
At this time, in the quiet evening air, only subtly broken at this time by the sound of this bony creature's grinding joints, silence is suddenly shattered by the awful cries of a man shouting out into the night air, a blood-curdling scream of pain. Into the inky blackness directly past these creatures, you hear cries, this awful, shearing, blood-curdling scream of a man deeper within this cave system. What do you all do?
Okay, it's like really loud.
It is, in the silence that up until this point was deafening, it is as if somebody fired a gunshot.
I am going to attempt to climb this wall next to me to my southeast.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics or acrobatics. Try to either step up swiftly or climb up quickly.
Acrobatics.
23. Deftly, you step up to the top of this plateaued region. You can go ahead and put yourself up where you'd like.
Okay. And can I also like move a little bit south along it as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Are you trying to be covert about this, or are you trying to just be as quick as possible?
I'm trying to be less loud than the screaming man.
Okay. You still hear this screaming.
I'm not trying to be heard over. I'm not trying to be heard over the screaming man.
Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Okay.
The dirty 20. You don't seem to notice, and at this distance, you don't seem to have sparked the attention of these creatures with these screams coming from deeper inside this cavern system, kind of muffling your footsteps up these rocks. As far as you can tell, you haven't been detected.
Okay. I'm just gonna go like here, basically.
Okay. At distance, let me go ahead and see here. At distance, what you can see deeper into this cavern system here, just at the edge of your dark vision, you see just ever so faintly a feminine form hunched up and scrambling against the wall, feverishly as again you hear another shout and blood-curdling cry of a man's voice coming from even deeper in. You hear the shouts, "No! No! Stay back! Stay back!"
That's rough.
Yep.
Alright. Well, I guess
I
we're
hear
gonna
this.
do
I wonder what's going on.
I'm looking through my inventory for like anything I got, but
I could throw an acid splash real quick.
wait,
I
I
don't know
have
if
a
it'll really-
spell scroll. What was my spell?
Let me look back at my notes here.
It's
I think I
Scorching
used
Ray.
mine already.
I believe so. I don't. It was a while ago, so let me look back.
I'm pretty sure I took Scorching Ray. If you could double check, but I think that's what I took.
I'll go and say. I'll go ahead and agree. Yeah, you probably. If you remember it, then yeah. Go ahead
Okay.
and.
I will do my best to wildly gesticulate to Dazes, who can see me, that fire, three of them, a scroll reading. And
I guess I'll get 2 thumbs up.
and then for Floof, I will. Now
Yes,
that
it
there
was
is sounds
Scorching
of a
Ray.
screaming man, I can like quietly as like whisper communicate this that that's the plan. That's the best I got for now.
Okay.
So
As you have not been detected yet, I will give you all one surprise round before we roll initiative. So, starting with you, Trash, since you sort of initiated this, what would you like to do?
so I got a thumbs up from Dazes. Floof, does that seem
Yeah. Sure.
okay?
Mhm.
All right.
Killed.
All right, so I will, because I think the range is, it says casting time is 1 action, range is about 120 feet, so I should be within range.
Yep. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. You got more than enough.
Okay, and it says you cast 3 rays of fire, and I'd like to hurl them at 1 for every creature.
That you can see.
Yes, that I can see.
Okay.
And so I just roll my attack for, because it says make a ranged spell attack for each ray.
Yes. So you'll add your proficiency bonus and your spell modifier to a d20 roll.
Okay, so I'm going to
Should be part of
roll-
the spell. Well, you don't have the spell, so yeah,
Yeah,
just roll
I
a
just,
d20
like, I have
and
it pulled up, but like, so roll a d20.
so roll a d20, add your spell casting modifier. So in this case would be your intelligence modifier and your proficiency bonus. So I think for you it'd be
Okay.
like a +6. Correct?
Okay. I think so. Actually, well, I could probably just go to spells and then look at the modifier there, right? Or spell attack, there's a +6 over it, which that's the number I
Right.
would add to the total I
Yes,
rolled,
because
right?
it is a ranged spell attack. Yes.
Okay, so the first one, I didn't roll so hot. I'm contemplating putting this dice in dice jail. I'm gonna pull out my other one. But I rolled a 9, so it's 9 plus my spell attack, which would make it a total of 15.
15.
first
A
one.
15 does hit.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna say spell attack 15.
Okay.
And then for my second,
Yeah, go ahead and roll all the attacks, and then we'll
Apply.
apply the damage appropriately.
then 13 plus 6. So the second one, 19.
Still hits.
This green dice is so much better. Oh no, I lied. I totally lied. You are the worst. How dare you? I'm banning 2 dice to jail. Last one was a fail. It was a 1.
Yeah, unfortunately, you fire 2 bolts. The first, you watch Floof just in front of you as this charged ball of energy as Trash unfurls this scroll. You watch as 3 motes of fire swirl around in this triangular pattern before flying out from the parchment paper as it eviscerates itself from the propulsive blasts of fire. The first 2 striking true, the first 2 creatures in order. The one closest to you, followed directly. Whoops. All right, hold on one sec. I had the wrong tool. The first and the second, the third going just wide as it is on the edge of your dark vision's periphery, and slamming against the rocky outcropping of the wall, about 10 or 15 feet up. But go ahead and roll the damage on the first creature.
Okay. Sorry, I had it pulled up on a tab. So it looks like it says on a hit they take 2d6.
Yes, it's
Fire
2d.
damage, okay.
Yeah, 2d6.
Okay, so let me get my d6s.
I think it's 2d6 plus something. Let me double check, just to be sure. I think it's 2d6 plus your spell attack bonus. Let me double check. I know Shiny's character uses this a lot, so let me double check his so I can confirm it pretty easily. Sec here. In our other campaign. It's so nice when I have two people that use the same attack. No, it's just straight 2d6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first, the first damage roll is a total of 7. So actually, let me type that out as well. So.
Okay. So the first strike nails this creature, and you watch as the remaining flesh stretched across its bony form is eviscerated, and you watch as the impactful blast blows a large chunk of bone from this creature. It is still moving, but it is severely wounded.
Second one also different split, but it is still 7 total.
Okay. Same thing. You hit the hip of this creature as you watch as one of its legs is completely blasted free from the pelvic bone downward, all the way from the remains of what looked like a goat-like or sheep femur, and the bent back leg is shattered into a spray of shards of bone across the wall. I'll go ahead and mark these two creatures as some damage markers on here. Know which one's which here. But they are both still somewhat mobile, but as this is going on, Floof I'm sorry, is there anything else you'd like to do with your action, Trash? Or with your turn? Because this is a surprise round.
Right. I think I'm probably going to, because where I am at the cusp here, like I could probably move and still, do I still have a good visual? Like if I wanted to use, like for example, a crossbow or something like that from this vantage point? Like how tall is this thing? You said it was like 50 feet? It was like really high up, right?
It goes up almost like 12 to 15 feet. Yeah, if you're going to try to climb to the edge of that, I will need I'll need an acrobatics or athletics to climb up that slope, as the terrain is loose, as the sand kind of slumps off as weight is applied to it, as it's just loosely blown up, kind of like snow, but it's not heavily compacted on this heavy sloped surface.
I have advantage on my acrobatics check. I don't know what's giving me that. It might be one of my
I think that's to escape grapples.
feats.
It should say, when you scroll over the A, it should say, I think it's advantage to escape grapples, because you're a plasmoid.
On the sheet, it just like is. Yeah, you're right. It's the grapple. Okay, so it's not that.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't have the best acrobatics and stuff, so I'm worried that I'm not gonna roll well and I'm gonna tumble and actually fall in, which will put me in a bad spot. So I'm actually going to. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just hopefully this doesn't screw me. I'm gonna move in, like, I'm gonna say, because I was here, so like 5, 10, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, maybe like here. I don't love that, but
okay.
And then you can move 40, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Oh, I don't want to get too close. I'm gonna put I'm gonna put Panda there.
Okay.
Just in preparation, because he can't. That like even if I move his max, he won't be in striking distance because he's melee only.
Okay.
That's my turn, I think. I don't think there's anything else I can do because this is just a surprise round turn, correct?
Right. So you still have your bonus action, but you used your action to cast Scorching Ray from the scroll.
Yeah, and I don't think I have anything bonus action left, like bonus action wise, that I can really utilize that would be very helpful or effective. So for now, yeah, I'm just hanging out here.
Okay. Dazes, being that you're closer and also have the higher dex, we'll say that you go next in this makeshift initiative before we roll actual initiative for this surprise round. What would you like to do?
I'm going to use my Acid Splash spell.
Okay. Is that a saving throw?
60. It is it's a dex save, 14.
Dex 14, got it. Okay. And what's the AoE on it? Is it just 5 foot out from where it falls, or 10 foot out? What is it?
Yeah, it's 1 or 2 creatures, and if it's 2 within 5 feet, so I'll just
Okay.
do
So the 2 that have already been.
2 front ones, yeah,
Okay.
that have already been damaged.
The first one gets a 13. You said it was a 14?
Yeah.
Okay, so he fails. The next one gets 12, so they both fail. Go ahead and
Let's go.
roll damage. You
Nice.
said it was con, or it was dex, right?
Dex, yeah.
Dex. Okay, yeah, then they definitely fail.
Roll twice, 1 for each.
Yeah, no, they both take the same damage.
Oh yeah, because it's just like one cube, I guess.
So you sling this blob of acid out from the palm of your hand, allowing it to splash down between these 2 creatures, covering their already damaged and scorched bony figures in this additional glob of acidic bile-like liquid, and it coats them, and you hear this horrible, like, echoing screeching up through the cavernous walls as this acid splashes all over them. They are severely wounded, but both are still just barely standing.
Okay. Question?
Yes.
First of all, I know if I jump down there, that's going to be like a dex or an acrobatic save, right?
Yeah, it'd be an acrobatics check to keep from hurting yourself.
Okay.
You do have monk shit that you could try. I think you have some sort of falling skill.
Oh yeah, I have a thing that reduces fall damage if I do take damage.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how
Actually,
quite.
it
I don't.
reduces it up to 20.
Up to 20. Okay. Yeah. So you do have some monk shit you can do.
I was going to, if I could do this all in one, like the acid splash was my attack, my action, and then if I could jump down as like only a move, or would that, you think that would take the rest of my turn?
No, that would just be part of your movement. You would still have your bonus action.
Okay, and then yeah, I'd probably do like a flurry of blows with my bonus action or something like that.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a... Does it just auto-succeed, or what is that falling monk ability read? Can you put it in the chat?
It's, yeah, let me, because it doesn't even mention like a...
Right, I don't know if you still have to make an acrobatics check, or it just reduces damage.
Let me find it.
'Cause you may not need to use it depending on how you roll on your acrobatics.
Let's see. It's slow fall.
Can you put it in, there's a little function for Beyond 20 that says display in VTT. There you go. Beginning of 4th level, you can use your reaction when you fall to reduce any... Okay, so it uses your reaction. Any fall damage you take by an amount equal to 5 times your monk level. So you're level 4, you could reduce it up to 20. So if you want to burn your action, or you can roll to see if you do it.
Okay, so I can choose, sort of.
In this situation, I'd have you roll the acrobatics.
Okay.
And then to see if you would take damage.
That's
and
fair.
if
And
yeah,
then
it's
I can,
unsuccessful.
burn the rest of my action to not take damage.
Right, you would burn your reaction
Okay.
to not take. Yeah, because reducing the fall damage is a reaction, is essentially what it's saying. You wouldn't have a reaction in the case of any other things you might want to do later on in the turn order, but you would reduce yourself from taking potentially up to 2d6 fall damage.
Yes. All right. Well, yeah, let's try that. Try to jump down here.
Okay, go ahead and give me an
on like. All right, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, give me an acrobatics check as you try to drop down in front of. You have the movement speed to get there, definitely. So you're just trying to slow yourself down against the rocky outcropping.
Yes. Acrobatics check, right?
Yep.
Okay.
9. Unfortunately, you take just as you're sliding down the rocky edge, you catch on one of the rocks and you begin to fall forward. You would take 4 points of bludgeoning damage, but if you want to burn your reaction, you can reduce that to 0.
We're not that bad. So since this is my reaction, do I still have my bonus action?
Yeah, you would still have your bonus action. This burns your reaction per the statement.
Yeah, this does use my reaction, so I can't use it later. Yeah, okay. I'll use my reaction to reduce the damage.
Okay. Even though you begin to fall, you essentially tuck your head into your chest and lower your center of gravity and flip forward, landing, Superman style with your fist down directly in front of this first creature. Whoops.
Oh, hell yeah. 3-point landing?
Yeah, 3-point landing. Superhero landing.
Nice.
With your reaction, reducing the damage to 0.
Ooh. Alright. Can I... shit. Okay, so I kind of want to...
And Flurry of Blows, remind me, how does it read? Is it you have to have taken the attack action prior, or is it just whenever on your bonus action?
It says after you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend 1 key point to make.
Right. So you used your action to cast a spell.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, so a spell, even though it was a spell attack, is not an attack action.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, because it's not a melee attack.
Okay, gotcha.
In this case, yeah, it's not an additional melee attack that you're making.
Okay. Well, in that case, I will use my bonus action to... Oh, how does that work? It says I can spend a key point to take the dodge action as a bonus action on my turn.
Yes, so...
Would that dodge action wait until something attacked me?
Yes, so when you take the dodge action on your turn, you can use it as a bonus action by spending key points. Essentially, that makes any melee or ranged attacks against you on the next turn, or until your coming turn, have disadvantage by taking the dodge action.
I will do that with my bonus action.
Okay. You ready up your stance as you come down 3-point style, preparing your stance, preparing to deliver a series of blows to this first creature now that you are in position. But with that, Floof, we are at your surprise round. You watch as your companions begin to dart into these caverns and step down their inky, shadowy forms just on what little you can see in this inky darkness. What would you like to do?
Okay, so I definitely would be hearing this stuff going on.
Yeah, you would have heard the screaming of this man, and you would have watched as your companions, and you would have watched those flares of fire in front of you being slung out by trash towards these creatures. And you, based on that glow and those strikes of fire, you would know exactly where these creatures are. Assuming that you would, take out the stone and use that as your light source.
Yeah, yep. Well, I will, get closer to the fight. It's 20. Man, I can't really. I could get to here.
Yep, that would be your movement.
Let's do. I don't want to use my moonbeam just yet. And Yeah. Let me pick up some stones and throw them at some of these fools.
Okay.
Here. That's in case you need to see it. Let's see. Up to, okay, 60 feet. Yeah, so I'll pick up some stones and sling them at the front one first.
Also, Dazes, this is what you would begin to see now that you're in position in front of you. You see just on the edge of this rocky outcropping a female form of a half-orcish woman, the same woman that you all had encountered on the back half of the train. And you see even deeper in the cavern, you hear the cries and screams of a man deeper in, and you see this woman cowering and trying to move back away from two of these additional creatures approaching her from deeper in. Sorry for that interruption.
That's okay. But yeah, as long as if there are stones, like I'd imagine I'd kind of, grip around the floor and see if I could find some stones to pick up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of
Okay.
loose rocks that you can pick up here. By
Yep.
throwing and hurling it with this sling. It has a range of 60 feet. If someone else, let's see. Attacks with the pebble. That attacker adds first spell casting ability modifier, not the attackers, to the attack roll. You hit the. Is this an action to cast this? I'm guessing this is a cantrip. Okay,
Yeah.
so it would be an action to cast it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you wouldn't be able to throw them, is what I'm getting at.
I got you. Then yeah, I'll hang on to these for a minute, and I guess that's pretty much all I can do.
Okay. You do have your bonus action if you have some sort of spell that uses that, or any other
Magic
ability.
Stone is a bonus action as well for me.
Oh, it does say it's a bonus action.
Yeah.
Okay, then you would have you could throw them if you wanted to, or throw one of them.
I'll throw at least one, at this front guy.
Okay, go ahead and give me an attack roll. So roll a d20, add your wisdom modifier and your proficiency bonus to the roll. Unless it's under the cantrip, essentially. But for you, it would be, I think, it would be a +6 to the roll.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Then 18 absolutely hits. You make contact with the remainder of the large sternum at the front of the rib cage, dead center of this creature. Go ahead and roll for damage. So you would, in the same way you would add your, I don't know what the damage is to it.
It's 1d6 plus the +4.
1d6 +4. Yep, you got it.
Yeah, so I got 5.
The 5. You strike true dead center into this thing's sternum, and it shatters into a bony pile directly in front of your companion, and it moves no more.
Okay.
Also, I'm going to get rid of this sandwich. Just because it's in the way.
Oh, the poor sandwich.
The poor sandwich.
Love the sandwich. It was
My
innocent.
sandwich! Alright, I'll leave it.
Yes. I'm picking this shit
But
up.
with that, I need initiative rolls from everyone now that our surprise round is gone.
That's a pretty good surprise round.
Yes, it
Let's
was.
all go awry immediately.
Alright.
Because now they can punch us back.
That they will.
Mhm. Eight.
18. Alright. Essentially the same order that we just went through, so that makes that real easy. Love it when a plan comes together. So, Trash, you are first to act yet again. What would you like to do?
I will. Let's see. I will. what do I want to do? Could probably. So there's 2 of them. Kind of. Let's see if I go. I don't know why I'm planning this. Okay, there we go. If I move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. There would be in a line. I'm gonna try something.
Okay.
And maybe it'll pay off. Let's see, what is that spell?
Tasha's Caustic Brew.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it just because I want to do damage on multiple enemies. and it
How
just is-
far of a line are we talking? Because you're trying to hit these 2 that are in a line.
Yeah, so if I'm able to move, and then it's a stream of acid emanates from you in a line 30 feet long, 5 feet wide.
Okay, so
So if
where
I
exactly are
move-
you standing
So
from?
I'm saying 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's my full movement, and I'm aiming it directly like
It's a 30-foot line.
30-foot line, 5 foot across.
Okay, you're good. I just didn't. If it
Okay.
was a 60-foot line, you would have hit the woman at the end. That's
And you
why
know
I was
what?
asking.
She deserves it. No.
Oh shit! Get fucked. All right. Fuck it.
We're
Let's
here to
roll.
rescue you, but also you're gonna get lightly singed with acid.
At this distance, you both can see that her left arm is completely ripped out of the socket.
Oh.
And there is
Oh.
bone showing, and you see the hungry eyes gleaming at the sight of the bone protruding from flesh.
Oof. Oof. Okay, I feel a little bit bad now. Anyways, we're gonna.
I was waiting for you guys to get close enough.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast it, and then, yeah. So these creatures have to a deck save.
Deck save. Okay. Well, we know they're good at that.
Oh, my save's kind of low.
The first one gets 6, so he failed. Next one gets a 21, surprisingly.
Oof,
So yeah, the first one fails. The second one does not. So is this damage immediately, or is this damage on their turn?
Start of their turns.
Okay.
They'll take 2d4. So I
Got
guess you
it.
have to just.
Let me mark
mark
them.
one of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark them both with a green dot, so we know they are covered in acid, and it requires an action to remove.
Yeah, they have to spend an action to scrape it off. So to speak.
Gotcha. Okay.
Although one of them saved.
Oh, that's right. So they don't take the acid damage at all.
No, like if they save it, they like dodged it. I assume.
Okay. So it's just
kind
a
of-
save or suck spell.
Yeah.
Just the first one failed. The one that's already been wounded.
So it'll be covered, and then on its turn, it'll take 2d4 at the start, and
Gotcha.
then if it survives that, then it has to spend an action to scrape it off.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. Is there
so
anything else you would
that's-
like to do?
Yeah, so that's me. I walked, I actioned. I will bring, so 5, 10, 15, 20. 25, 30, I guess. We'll have Panda get in the fray, because that one it's kind of on death's door, so I'd like to start working on
Okay.
the healthier one.
Right.
And so that brings us to Panda's sheet. His action is to do, what is his action that he can do? Force empowered rend. So it's my spell attack modifier to hit. Okay, let me just roll.
Okay. From where Panda is? Does Panda have dark vision?
Panda.
I would assume you do, but I don't know if your Steel Defender does.
Dark vision 60 feet. Yes.
Okay. So he would see at this distance now a half-orcish man with tannish, almost human-like skin tones on the opposite end. And if you thought this young woman looked like she was in bad shape, this man has had his left leg completely torn out of the pelvic socket. And one of these creatures is gnawing on the fleshy bone matter.
Bummer.
And now the one to his right is attempting to tear his right arm out as well. Hence the horrendous screaming as he struggles to keep himself from being torn limb from limb by these creatures.
But he does have one for each limb.
Pretty much. That's essentially what they're trying to do.
It's a full body service in the worst way.
He's essentially being drawn and quartered by these creatures who are eagerly trying to rip him apart like a rotisserie chicken. Is the best way I can put it. Yes. Go ahead and give me an attack roll for Panda.
Okay, so Panda is going to go... Right, okay, so I rolled. That was 15 plus my spell attack modifier, which I think was plus 6, so it's 21.
More than enough. Panda strikes true against this creature, tearing off large chunks of bone that are shattered and thrown against the rocky outcroppings.
And I roll, it's 1d8 plus my proficiency bonus, so I rolled a 3 plus, my proficiency bonus is 2, so 5 damage total. You
hear this ear-piercing screech as the bones are shattered from this creature's leg. And it is damaged. A sizable wound, but it is still standing, beginning to turn towards your companion. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
That is my turn.
Okay, Dazes, we are back to you.
Alright, well, I didn't have to dodge anything.
Yeah, well,
Rip
yeah,
the teeth, I guess.
it's all good. Shit happens. You didn't know what their initiative roll was, so.
Yep. Let's see.
You guys actually all rolled pretty high.
Now, this is a dilemma, because I kind of want to get, through these two, since one of them's almost dead and the other one's already in a fight with Panda, but there's not much space here for me to get through them without taking...
You could get through, but I'd need an acrobatics check if you're trying to get past them. And you would also... Without like... Right, you could...
Attack of opportunity or something?
Yeah, you could spend a key point to disengage.
Yeah, I forget that's what that does.
Right, your key points act like... You can do the same things that a rogue can do, but you have to spend key points to do them.
That's right.
To do dodge, disengage, or...
work for both of them, though?
Yeah, because you would still be within melee. The disengage action would work for both of them.
Okay, cool.
Right. Because you're within both their melees.
Okay, cool. I'm doing that.
Okay.
So that disengage will be my key point and my bonus action.
Okay.
And...
Go ahead and give me an acrobatics as you try to basically somersault over this mechanical raccoon. The 25 with ease. You wall run over the top of this this mechanical construct, and you still have your full movement from where you are. You haven't essentially moved yet, so where would you like to go? And you would not invoke attack of opportunity because you did use your key point to disengage.
Nice. What's the measure tool in here?
It's the one that looks like a ruler below the magnifying glass.
Yeah, it's snap to. Oh, snap to center. I
Yeah,
guess.
one snap to center, one snap to corner, and one's just wherever you place the marker.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
see what
essentially,
60
yeah,
is.
snap to center is what I use most of the time.
So I got.
Yeah, I think you
Actually,
have
hold on.
40 feet of
30?
movement.
Yeah, 40.
Yeah, because you're a monk, so you get extra movement. So yeah, you could get in melee with one of them.
Yeah, that's too far. All right. I guess I do want to draw attention.
Okay.
I guess I'll go here.
Okay.
Oh wait, I want to move myself now. There we go.
Yeah, go back to the selector at the top. There you go. There you go.
Okay, and
Yeah, unless otherwise stated, the squares are always 5 feet apart.
yeah. Okay, so that's my move. That's my bonus action. I have my regular action still.
So you could take the attack action if you wanted to.
And I guess I will.
Okay. Is this an unarmed strike? How are you attacking?
That's a good question. I guess both of these are unarmed, or my staff would probably both be bludgeoning, huh?
Yes.
It's either fist or.
It'll
or
say
staff.
beside the damage type, when you roll the damage, it'll say what kind it is.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I'll just use my staff. What does vicious do again? I don't remember. Or is
Vicious,
that what gives it the
basically,
option of the D8?
it's the D8 when you roll a crit.
Okay, gotcha.
It should say, I believe it's when you roll a crit, you get the extra D8 of damage.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if clicking it was gonna put something in the chat, so I don't want to click it. But...
Right.
Okay.
And
Oh, there we go. Okay, gotcha.
just as a question, sorry, kind of retcon here. Trash, your panda, what type of damage is he dealing?
He is doing. Let me double check. It
'Cause I missed something.
is force damage.
Force. Okay. No, you're good.
Yeah. This is gonna be a little bit of a test to see how they react to me hitting them with the.
You about something about to happen to you. That was some foreshadowing if I ever heard it.
Yeah, that's ominous.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
About to find out.
So you're attacking with your staff or are you attacking with your fists?
Staff.
Okay.
Not
Let's
my fist.
see it.
I'm not touching this thing. Alright. Let's go. I might miss anyway. Oh,
You
no, that's
absolutely hit with the quarterstaff as you slam into the broadest section of its rib cage. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Alright. Oh wait. That's right. It's the D6.
The
So
one-handed,
5. Yeah.
the 5. You watch as this blunt instrument slams solidly against the rib cage of this creature, as if the reverberation impacted more than you would intended it to. And you watch as this creature shatters like a pane of glass, bones scattering across the walls in one fell swoop.
On the weakness. Let's go!
Hey.
Is there any...
your staff
I
was gonna
yell,
fucking blow up.
I hit it with the stick and it exploded.
But yes, is there anything else you'd like to do?
I think I used all my actions.
All
So,
right.
I'm good.
Loof, we're back to you. What would you like to do?
I will move closer to the commotion. 10, 15, 20. Take a smell of my sandwich. And I'll pick it up.
Okay.
And
Your sand. You can add one sandy sandwich to your inventory.
I don't know who's gonna eat that one.
and I will attack this closest thing with my spear.
Okay.
Let's see.
12 unfortunately just misses as your spear passes through one of the bony protrusions, but does not make solid contact.
Okay. And as a bonus action, I'll, at point blank range, throw a stone at it.
Okay. Well, the throwing of the stone, the creating of the stone is the attack a bonus action? The creating of the stone is the bonus action to spellbind it, but the throwing of the stone is an action. Because it's a ranged spell attack, or a ranged attack. Basically throw an object. So you've already used your action to attack.
I got it.
You still have your bonus action, and you've maybe a little bit of movement.
Okay, just for clarification on the stone, because it's listed as a cantrip and as a bonus action.
Yeah, let me take a look real quick. Because I think the creation is a bonus action, but the actual throwing of the stones is not. Like, the cantrip is to create the magical object to use your spell modifier, but they're essentially just thrown objects.
Okay. So just the bonus action is me creating the stone.
Right, let me double check. Magic stone. Spells imbue them with magic. You or someone else can make a ranged spell attack. Yeah, so it's an attack action. A ranged spell attack. By throwing it or hurling it at with a sling. If thrown, it has a range of 60. It basically just creates them into magical ammo.
Gotcha.
But it is still an action to use them after you've cast it.
Fair enough. Well then, I'll back up one step towards trash.
If you do that, you will invoke attack of opportunity. Is that okay
Just
with
kidding.
you?
I'm standing right there in front of the
okay.
in front of the monster. I'm good. Yep,
I'm fine if you want to take some damage.
I'm good.
Okay. And Dazes, with this, where you stand now, you all have a pretty strong view of this entire remainder of this separate cavern space. Full view of this sort of pack of creatures surrounding these skeletal, ram-like, sheep-headed, semi-bipedal creatures, their bones grinding and creaking as they turn in this awkward, twisted, unnatural movement, and now becoming more presently aware of your positions as they go on the offensive. This first one, though, I need to roll some damage. Or, Trash, roll me 2d4, right? Or 2...
Yeah, I believe it is 2d4. Let me just...
So go ahead and roll with the damage for me.
Okay. D4.
We'll resolve this first, and then we'll move on.
That was 6.
6. You watch the bones melt into a pool on the ground. This creature is no more.
Hey.
See you.
And this one is going to... You watch as it cries out this horrible echoing screech off the canyon walls as it swings at your steel defender. Getting an 8 to hit, which I definitely don't think hits.
I don't think so either. Let me just double check.
I really doubt it.
Yeah, it does not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you...
Does not.
Like, a starting person has a 10 AC. Unless they have a negative modifier.
No, the armor class is 15. It's better than mine. What the...
These other creatures, you watch now as they all turn. Some of them, their heads snapping back in unnatural, disturbing manners. That would otherwise kill a normal living creature. They snap back in all sorts of unnatural manners. These bones creaking and twisting as they spin around as if their spines were on wire mesh, allowing them to turn in unnatural ways as they all begin to converge upon you all. This one here is going to come at you, Dazes. This one is going to come after you as well as that one. These three are all still trying to feed upon this half-orcish man who is screaming out in pain. These three are going to attack you, Dazes, and because they're all surrounding you, they are going to attack at advantage with pack tactics.
Oh God.
That would be.
Oh God.
It'd be like that.
The first one getting a 23 to hit.
Oh my.
The second one only getting a 6, even with rolled a 1 and a 3.
Lucky for me.
The next one getting a 22 to hit, so 2 hits.
All right.
So those are going to be... That is 13 points of slashing damage as these extended claws come down. You dodge the first strike, but the other two find purchase in your flesh as these extended bony claws dig into you. And at this point, you see these horrifying aberrations for what they are. These undead creatures. Their flesh, what remains of any sort of skin and flesh, stretched taut across their bony forms as they screech and gnaw, trying to either bite or scratch or pierce you with their extended claws, sharpened by the flowing sands and wind of the desert. But these ones are going to try to take some shots at this man. Yep.
I mean, he's missing 2 limbs. I'm pretty sure his AC went down.
Yeah, and he's prone, so yeah. You watch as they tear and claw at him as he cries out in pain. And you watch as he essentially falls unconscious from the sheer amount of trauma for the time being. He's not dead, but he is unconscious as you watch as these creatures are now proceeding to finish him off and devour this individual.
Oh, I'm so dumb.
You watch as the young woman screams out, clutching her hanging limp left arm with her right against the shoulder. Darling! But with that, we are back to the top of the round with Trash. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna... I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm just gonna crossbow, just attack the one that's still engaged in the mouth of this like cave entrance.
Okay.
So... Oh my god. Okay, that was horrible. Can I use my inspiration? Is that how that works?
Yep.
Wanna
Any
add to it?
D20 roll. Yeah, you can roll again. So re-roll the attack.
Jesus. Okay, well, I was slightly better. I went from a 1 to an 8.
Fortunately,
So
the
8
bolt sails wide.
no. Wait, no, 8 plus 6. Sorry, I
8
meant
plus
the,
6?
the dice roll is plus 6.
So 14. Yes, 14
Yes.
hits.
Thank God. Okay.
Yeah, you do find purchases. At the last moment, you change your aim and strike true against this thing's skull.
Okay, and that is... Looks like 1d8 plus 4, so let me roll a d8. That's an 8! Amazing. Okay, plus 4, so 12.
You
Piercing
watch
damage.
as the bony skull of this creature shatters into pieces and the glowing red eyes fade to inky black as it falls into a pile of bones.
Cool. So I am definitely gonna 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, like 30, shuffle in. Panda, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that would be
Is
30.
30.
Yep.
35, because he's got 40 movement.
Yep.
So he's gonna try. I can't get to. I want to help that guy, but even with all this he's not gonna get there. So I can't help out.
I got movement. We'll get there.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just gonna move Panda, and same thing. We're just gonna try to attack this one.
Okay.
So 12 plus 6 is 18.
18 hits.
Okay, 18, and it was force type damage was what it was, and it was 1d8 plus proficiency bonus. Okay, so let me.
Yeah, so a d8 plus 2.
8. Oh, that was not so good. That was 1 plus 2, so only 3 damage.
Still, every little bit of damage counts as the claws of your steel defender of Trash Panda slam into the bony spine of this creature, tearing off the sun-baked flesh, exposing just bone and spiny carapace.
And that's me.
Okay. Aziz, we are on to you. What would you like to do, sir?
Okay. This is gonna be. Hold on, let me check something real quick. Is that... Okay. Well, I guess first I'm gonna attack.
Okay.
I was gonna ask if I can just like swipe through all 3 of these with my quarterstaff, but I'm pretty sure that's not a thing I can do.
No, you
That'd
can't
be
do
too
like a
much.
sweeping attack. Unless
No,
your
that's-
weapon had some sort of ability to do so. Or you had some sort of ability to do so.
I guess I'll attack the one in the corner, like diagonal from me.
Okay.
So I guess let me roll that. It's gonna be two-handed though. I'm equipped that two-handed quarterstaff.
Okay.
Let's see how that goes. I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay,
Inspiration.
you burn your inspiration?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please be better.
Yeah, absolutely hits on the second one.
Okay. I'm gonna roll.
Swing down with both hands, and you crush the skull into powder as you see again this force of the impact seems to do a severe amount of damage to their bony remains of these creatures as it shatters into a pile on the ground, the blood-stained eyes vanishing into inky black pools.
Okay. So I'm not gonna retcon this because I forgot about it, but I'll ask about it now.
Okay.
I do have Touch of Death,
Okay.
which I forgot about, which gives me +8 temporary HP whenever I reduce a character within 5 feet of me to 0 HP.
Okay. So yeah, you could add your
So
temp
I'm gonna add
HP. Okay.
8 temp HP, and then I'm going to use my bonus action to disengage,
Okay.
so that I can use my move action to get to move past out.
Okay.
So
You
I'm gonna-
disengage and slide between the two creatures as they both try to swing out towards you in vain, as you are too quick. Your monk training allowing you to move with ease between the two of them.
And I guess I don't know if I'm supposed to. I mean, they're gonna pack tactics me anyway.
Potentially.
But I guess I will stay a distance away from him, so that maybe they are not next to both him and me. Like maybe they're only next to me.
We will have to see.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I don't think I can,
Okay.
unless I can take more than one bonus action per turn.
Fortunately, no. Unless you have an item or some ability that allows it.
Yep. So I think that's gonna be me.
Floof, we are back to you, sir.
All right. I mean, I don't feel like I have much creative to do. So yeah, I'll venture further into the cave, the commotion and everything. And from here, I just want to be clear on my vision. Am I still able to see like the lady getting attacked or anything?
Yeah, from this distance, it will say that, again, you've got the stone, and your companions have kind of determined where these creatures are.
Okay.
If you're within melee range, you're within 5 feet, so I would say if you have the stone, you can see what you're attacking.
Okay. Then from here, I'll throw a stone at the one right in front of the lady getting her limbs ripped
Okay.
off.
Show me the spell attack. So you roll a d20, add your proficiency and your spell attack modifier, so it should be a +6.
Yes, sir. Oh my god.
Fortunately, you throw the stone wide as this creature shifts out of the way adeptly, dodging your ranged attack.
Okay.
Still
Still
have your-
feeling.
Go ahead.
I can still move a little bit, right?
Yeah, if you had, unless you've moved your, I don't think you've moved your full 30 feet, so you could get up right on them if you wanted to.
I am. I'm gonna try and defend this lady to the best of my ability. So yeah, I'm right here now, and I guess that's it for me.
Okay. Still have your bonus action if you have something you would like to do with that.
Unfortunately, my only bonus action is Magic Stone. So
I believe you have Wild Shape too. You are a druid. This is a bonus action.
I suppose that's true. It doesn't show up under bonus action, but
Hold on one sec. Wild Shape. Oh, as an action. I'm sorry. You can magically. Okay, so it is an action to Wild Shape. My apologies. I thought it was a
that's okay.
bonus action. But yeah, you could Wild Shape as well. That's an option. You have.
Okay.
No.
I don't think I'm ready to turn in anything. So yeah, I'll save that for now.
Okay.
That's it for me. Boring turn. Sorry, guys.
All
No, you're
right.
Try it.
The creatures, seeing you all approach, seeing a rather large meal, Floof, these two are going to take swipes at you, seeing a large creature in front of them, a much taller creature, potentially a larger meal, as they try to gang
Yay.
up on you.
This is the first time this has ever worked out, but Panda has a reaction to deflect an attack. So it just it'll give disadvantage on one of the creatures attack rolls.
Okay. So if that's the case, well, they're rolling at advantage, so it would be a standard roll.
Okay.
So let me re-roll. Well, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. He would have missed either way with the advantage, because he rolled a 13 to hit, which I don't think meets your AC. Floof.
You said
13.
yeah. I'm 17. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, then that misses. The other one, which would be at advantage, will be just a normal roll since you're imposing disadvantage. So we'll see how this goes. That is an 11, so that also misses. Good looking out on that one. Trash Panda steps out of the way just as this creature would have swiped in front of you, spinning up like a ball and batting away the claw that would have otherwise made contact with you, Floof. These creatures, seeing that this man is no longer attempting to fight, this one at the bottom is still gnawing on a piece of the man's leg. These two, however, have noticed you, Dazes, as they turn their necks in a very unnatural and disturbing manner, snap towards you. You see the piercing red eyes staring down at you as these creatures, these two are quite tall. These are about, as they stand upright on their hind legs, almost 6 feet in total height, just above where you stand, are going to rush towards you, taking some swipes at you with pack tactics.
Let's go.
one is 16 to hit.
Nope.
Okay. Second one is a crit.
Ooh, oops. I made up for it.
Oop.
Boy.
So
Well, that's what the tip HP is for.
to be
You know, as long as I don't die.
not a great roll. 5 slashing damage against you.
Nice.
So I don't think that even gets through your temp HP, but you do take your key ability flowing through you, even though you feel the piercing edge of these bony claws dig into you. You're able to adjust your breathing and seal the wounds almost instantly. Quite a feat to do so. But with that, we are back to the top of the round with Trash.
Okay. I'm gonna say, like, let's say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Just because I feel like the two are gonna, like, Panda and Floof have kind of handled that situation. From my perspective, I'm gonna try to help out with the trio that's attacking the Dazes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna move, and I will, yeah, I'll just try to attack with my crossbow.
Okay. Go ahead and show me a crossbow.
It's not amazing, but with the 6, 8 plus 6 is 14.
14 just hits.
Oh, thank
Let's go.
the Lord. Okay, so that means some damage, which is only 3 plus 4, so 7 damage total.
7 damage. And that's piercing damage
It would be
from a crossbow?
crossbow should be.
Yep.
Let me double piercing. Yes.
Yep. You watch as you hit a solid part of the skull, cracking off one of the horns. The remainder of the skull, one of the red eyes going out while the remaining one stares down at you. This loud screeching echoing out towards you. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I moved. I attacked. So I don't really have bonus. Yeah, that's good for me. And then Panda will attack the one that it's engaged with currently. So roll 5 plus. I'm pretty sure this hits because it's like 15 plus.
Yeah, that would hit.
Okay, perfect. So then it was 1d8, but plus proficiency bonus. It's a 6 plus 2, so 8 damage.
You watch as Panda strikes down hard on this creature and it crumbles into a pile of bones.
Ay. Nice. And then it can... I guess it'll actually 5, 10, 15, 20. I'll instruct it to do this so that it can give advantage to Floof.
Okay. All
Alright,
right.
that is my turn.
Aziz, we are back to you.
Alright. I am going to attack the one diagonal from me,
Okay.
seeing that the other one is injured. I'm gonna attack the one diagonal to me with my quarterstaff.
Okay.
I don't know why I clicked off. Okay.
21 absolutely hits.
Okay. And damage.
You're attacking the one. You're not the one that's not wounded, correct?
Correct, yeah.
All right. Solid strike as you slam down onto the shoulder, driving your staff straight through the rib cage and through the spine as it falls into a pile of bones.
Okay. And then I'm going to move. If I move here, I can still attack the other one diagonal from me, right?
Yeah. You, as long as you're within 5 feet.
Okay. So yeah, I move here, and then I will use my bonus action to do Flurry of Blows.
Okay.
That'll be my last key point, and I'll make my 2 unarmed strikes. So
Okay.
the first one I'm gonna attack is the one that's still next to the dude, who's still gnawing on his limb.
Okay.
So let me roll that.
18 hits.
Okay.
Solid strike as you strike down with both hands on the first strike, and then wing back around with your forearm and slam against the sternum of the one beside it. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay.
As you strike, you feel that same sort of blunt force vibration as the bones shatter into a pile on the ground.
And then I'll go ahead and use my second unarmed striker on the one that's injured.
Okay. 14 just hits. You spin again, driving your elbow down. Same thing, the remainder as you crush the skull of this sheepish ram head into powder.
Nice.
Boys.
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Okay, so no, but does Touch of Death work like every time I kill something?
Yes, you don't stack temp hit points, you would just go back to
Right.
the 8. Yeah, temp
Yes.
hit points don't stack. Whichever is greater replaces the other ones.
Alright, so that'll go back up to 8.
Yep.
And,
Got it.
That's me.
Last but not least, Floof, we are back to you. One remaining creature stands between you. You do have advantage on the strike as you are flanking with Trash Panda.
Okay, yeah, I will stab him with my spear.
Okay.
Probably not useless this time. Let's see.
You'll roll with advantage. So roll one
okay.
more. Yeah, roll one more time to see if you hit. 19 definitely hits.
Hey,
There we
let's
go. Let's damage.
With an 8, you strike true and come down hard. As there is one remaining, we'll just say that this one meets its end as you drive the spear through, cracking through ribs, and then bringing the blunt end of the spear upwards and slinging the skull up and over the top of the craggly rock-faced wall as it shatters upon the rocks.
Okay. For the sake of what I'll do next, are we still in initiative?
No, not for now.
Okay. I'll check on this person's body, and I'll just ask or yell to Dazes and ask if that guy's alive.
Is he?
He's not looking great. He is breathing, but just barely. In fact, as far as you can tell, he's still breathing. He is making death saves right now.
Yeah.
Can I cast a healing spirit on him?
You can absolutely cast Healing Spirit on him.
I will do that.
All
I do
right.
have well, I don't know if that'll work, but I also have like health potions.
It's either one you want to do. It's up to y'all if you want to use a health potion or if you want to cast a spell to heal.
Okay.
I'll
maybe it's up to you, Bert.
suggest using the spirit because I
Okay.
think that his soul needs help at this moment, and yeah,
It's
You know what, we
entirely
could
up
do
to y'all.
Can we do both?
yeah.
I mean, you can certainly do both. With the Healing Spirit, you could essentially bring somebody up from 0 to full pretty easily. That won't fix his arm and his leg that have been removed,
Right.
but
Well,
that would
that'll be a medicine. I guess.
But
you
it
can
would
do a
seal
medicine
the
check.
wound, and he would stop bleeding out and
Okay.
basically
Yeah,
come to consciousness.
Okay.
I will cast the spirit
Okay.
on
Go
him.
for it.
Describe to me what your healing spirit looks like as you cast it over the top of this half-orcish man.
Okay. Yeah, some, I don't know, green light kind of starts to emanate from the earth beneath my feet and comes up into my hand, and I'll just kind of, you know, push it into that person's, or into his direction until it reaches him and gives its healing effects.
You watch as this glowing, soft sphere of light pushes out from Floof's chest, glittering slowly and gracefully over the chest of this man. Its warm light emanating over the top of him as you watch the empty socket of his right arm seal up, the empty bleeding leg joint sealing up as well. The wounds, the scars of the scratches beginning to seal up. Still evidence of the painful trauma, not necessarily healing the mental trauma of this situation, but healing at least the physical trauma that can be healed by such a spell, as this man, after a few moments, where am I? Oh, darling, are you all right? And you watch as the woman watches the man come back to consciousness, tears welling up in her eyes as she clutches her limply hanging left arm against her chest as she scrambles over for her companion, embracing him with her undamaged arm as the other hangs limp. You see the bone hanging almost loosely from the ligaments and tissue of the shoulder. Are you going to use all the charges of the healing spirit on this man, or you do get, I think you have 10, how long is the spell? I think it's a minute, right?
My bad. Yeah, up to a minute.
Up to a minute. He would be healed after like 15 seconds, 24. He'd be healed in less than 30 seconds to full. I mean, it wouldn't replace his torn off limbs, but he would be back to full hit points. If you guys wanted to use it on others, just so you're aware.
Yeah, does the woman need any healing, or?
Yeah, she's not looking great.
Yeah,
she's
if
definitely...
I could move my arms around or whatever and kind of redirect the healing light into her to
You
help
watch
her
as
well.
the spirit flutters back over, and as the light is cast upon her wounded arm, you watch as it drives back up into the shoulder in a painful manner, but just as the shock of the pain of the arm reinserting itself, still just hanging on to the flesh of this woman's shoulder, it pops back into the socket as she nearly collapses from the pain. But that same soft light begins to heal up, leaving scars and mental scars of this incident, but she still retains her life.
That healing spirit is good shit.
Yeah, and I would say she would be healed up after an additional like 20 seconds, so you probably have 2 or 3 more uses of it.
All right, yeah, I'll move it to Dazes, recognizing that he's, I'm assuming, bleeding from somewhere.
Okay. So yeah, we'll say you have 3 more uses of it. What is it per use? Should say in the spell.
1d6.
1d6. So you could potentially roll 3d6.
Okay, let's see. There's 1. That's 7. Where are you at?
27 out of 35.
There you go.
Use out there if you want.
There you go. There's another one.
You get 8 points back total.
Alrighty.
You watch as these
Including
two...
the tip HP, I'm technically at full hit points.
There you go.
Hey.
You all watch as these 2 lean against the craggly wall of this outcropping, this pit area, clinging to one another. The woman holding onto her husband's chest, or head to her chest, tears well up in her eyes, staring down at the wounds, but still you see this maternal longing. But you also see in the corner, just behind this rock, the remains of a less fortunate individual. That these creatures.
If there was another one.
Oh, dang.
That it is a gruesome sight as you see all the large bones are essentially torn out of the flesh of this individual. You see any manner of flesh is immediately or almost immediately ripped from the form as the bones are snapped and their marrow sucked dry by these creatures. You see teeth marks across the larger bones of the shoulder, the pelvis, the femur, the skull, shattered and drained of any nutrients within.
Is there any way to, like, identify who this is?
You can certainly
Or I guess
try.
Identify if confirm that this is somebody else from the train, essentially.
You look
if
at the
there's
two individuals that are with you still. I don't know who he was, but he was on the deck with us when those things dragged us away.
I turn to Trash. Actually, I'm gonna walk over to Trash because I'm not gonna yell this.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask do you think it's proper that we collect the remains?
I was thinking that. Or at least some sort of, like identifier to show if they happen to have family or someone with them on board.
Okay. You grab some of the largest pieces of bone, any trinkets or belongings you see, as these creatures didn't seem all that interested in any type of jewelry or any fanciful things of this world, only longing for sustenance in any form they could find it. You now look around you. There are bones of all sorts of creatures here, broken, drained dry of their marrow, gnawed across the scrape marks of teeth and claws across all of them, signs of these creatures' handiwork.
Goody. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, that's all we can do in terms of the people that we think were part of the train was these two, and then the third person, which we've gathered some kind of the remains of.
Yes.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, that seems to be the case.
Okay. I mean, I'll just do, I guess, a general search around, but not for too much longer, because I do mention that we've got to get going. The train is will leave without us.
Of course.
I'll ask the lady if she could walk, and can she walk?
She wordlessly nods as she attempts to help up her husband against her form, but she's having a bit of difficulty trying to help him stand against one leg.
I'll stop and carry him.
Okay.
And my arms, in front of me.
While that's going on, Trash, give me an investigation check.
All right.
While she's doing an investigation check, can I walk down here and see what's south of, or not south.
Sure.
West.
Yeah, go ahead. You can give me an investigation as well if you'd like.
Investigation check total is 17 for me.
17, okay.
5.
Dazes, you don't find anything but more shattered bones down here. I'll go ahead and reveal. Trash, you find among the remains of the deceased man, you find a number of fine jewelry, as well as some coinage, and various odds and ends, some scraps of fine silk, approximately worth about 130 gold total.
Okay.
On this person. Various jewels and things, miscellaneous baubles and things like that. Dazes, while you are searching down this path, Trash, you are searching the remains of these scavengers, if you will. Floof, you get a familiar scent.
Okay, can I identify this?
Give me a perception check with advantage.
They're great.
Not great, but not the worst. This scent was a similar scent that permeated your home. Same sort of scent, concentrated energy mixed with imminent death that lingered in your home the day your mother died. As you look down, tracking this scent, you watch as the shattered bones begin to shake gently and move across the surface of the sand. Shaking softly and moving, converging like small insects across the sand. You watch them instinctively, unsure of what is going on. And it is only as they begin to form into a centralized pile between the three of you that that same sort of scent becomes stronger. You get this same sense of dread as the day your mother died, as you watch the bones begin to shake more violently within this cavern, as they gather up back into the center of this cavern, scraping against one another as they bind together. At this point in time, Trash, you get an uncanny feeling, an ominous sense of dread that forces your attention back into the center of this cavern as you hear this movement as well. Finally, Dazes, you turn your shoulder as this pile of bones begins to gather up on its own accord into the center of this room, shaking and clanging and scraping together into the semblance a new form emerges. As this awful screech emanates out from the center of this pile of bones, a new form from the remains of these bone collectors.
We should go.
We should run. Oh, God.
You watch as this two-headed, multi-legged, multi-armed, centipede-like creature emerges from the pile of remains at the center of this chasm between you all, letting out horrendous screeching in both directions. I need you all to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh shit.
Trash. You shake off this horrible screeching, this sense of dread that lingers in your body. Dazes and Floof. This existential dread, this screeching echoes feel tense upon your blood vessels as the edge of your fingertips begin to turn a blackish color as this horrifying energy permeates your bodies. You both take 13 points of necrotic damage.
Oh
a lot.
my god.
That was me and Floof, right?
You and Floof. Trash, you would take half of that.
13.
So you would
All right,
take, that would be 6 for you. Trash.
I take 6 damage?
6 necrotic, yes.
All right, I at this point would have dropped this guy, and I'm just gonna say in like anger and sorrow and whatever's going on, I'm just gonna yell, "Mother!" like, in memory of that moment.
Okay. At this point, we're going to keep the same initiative roll, but we are back in initiative as this creature screeches out from both heads at both ends of its body. Crash. As this necrotic energy sinks into you and your companions, you're able to shake it off. What would you like to do?
I don't know. Do we run? I don't know.
Nah, we can take it.
Okay.
That was a half joke, but I do think we can take it.
Okay.
I have a look of intense anger, and anything you guys say stopping me from wanting to kill this thing is not gonna be heard.
Okay, I'm gonna take a page out of this creature's book. Maybe actually, I don't know anything about this creature. This might actually backfire. Oh, okay. I'm gonna.
If you'd like to recall something or try to recall something, you can.
Oh, I'm trying to suss out if I inflict necrotic damage on this creature, will it be effective or less effective? Is I guess what I'm trying to glean, if I may.
Give me an Arcana check.
Oh no! So 1, so plus 4 is just 5.
Still a 1, unfortunately. You do not. It's hard to tell. This creature writhes back and forth like a bony centipede, preparing to strike in both directions at you and your companions.
Okay. I got. What does this do? This allows me to. It's casting that as a bonus action each of your turns until you can take. Okay, I don't know if this makes any sense. But it's theoretically my hardest hitting spell. spell. So I'm gonna try it just because I just want to get away from this thing that just wreaked havoc on the entire party. So this might not make sense, but I'm gonna move up so that I can, because I have to touch this creature.
Okay.
As much as I don't want to. Everything in my like person is just fighting this where I'm like, ew, 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 no. I'm gonna try to inflict wound.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a melee spell attack.
Okay. Oh, please don't fuck me, dice. Okay. That was 14 plus my attack 6, so 20.
20 absolutely hits.
Okay, so the damage on this is I used this, and now it is on a hit 310 necrotic damage.
3d10.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's why
inflict
I was
wounds is
like-
no joke. Cleric,
That's
yeah,
why I was
cleric
like,
spells
I'm
are
gonna-
busted.
Okay. So that is 2, 6, and an 8. So what is
Also,
that?
there's
14?
a nice picture for you guys.
But I'm not even gonna look at it. It's gonna give me like nightmares.
Oh, it's nightmare fuel. That's why.
Fourteen.
That's why I picked it.
It comes out of its
14
mouth.
plus-
Nasty.
Ew.
How much damage? I'm sorry.
Sorry. 14 plus 2 is 16.
16. You certainly make full contact with this creature as the necrotic energy spills out from your plasmoid form into this creature, but unfortunately not sinking in as much as you initially anticipated.
Yes. Well,
Still doing
damn
some
it.
damage as a bit of the bone crumbles and cracks off, but not quite as much as you would have initially thought.
Okay. I don't think necrotic damage is gonna work. Everyone, I tried. Okay, so I technically did move. I did attack. Bonus. I can cast Expeditious Retreat, but then I still have to spend an additional bonus action to dash, so that's not going to do anything. So I'm
Okay.
just going to leave it. That's just me. I am going to move maybe 1, 2, so that we're still within melee range for Panda. Panda's also going to try to attack.
Okay.
Did Panda take damage earlier from the initial?
No, I believe it missed, so you're still fine.
Okay. So yes, it's gonna try to attack. So I'm gonna roll. God, Panda's so good at attacking. So 16 plus 6 is 20.
Yeah, absolutely hits.
Okay.
Solid strike against this creature.
And so that will be 1d8, which is 6 plus 2, so 8 damage. 8
damage.
force damage.
Solid strike as you watch more of the bone crack off from this creature. As it screeches out and hisses and the bones shake like the edges of a tambourine. You watch as this vibration rolls across the spine like ribs and legs across this entire creature. It is quite a unnerving, unsettling sight to watch this aberration writhe like an insect with no flesh, made entirely of bone. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
That's it for me.
Dazes, we are back to you. What would you like to do, sir?
Well, considering what worked on bones before, I'm gonna try that a bunch more times.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hit it with my quarter staff. Fortunately, I don't have any more key points, so there's no flurries coming. But hopefully, this is still effective. We'll see.
I mean, you can bonus action offhand. You just wouldn't get that third attack from Flurry of Blows.
Oh yeah, you're right. Just the unarmed strike extra, because that doesn't require a key point. That's true.
Yep.
Okay, that's right. That's right. All right. Well, let's try the first attack first.
Fist or staff?
It will be staff.
Okay. Two-handed or one-handed?
Definitely two.
Okay. Let's see it. 19 absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Nice.
Okay. Not a great roll, but
Still a 6. You watch as you come down hard with the enchanted staff, and it makes solid contact with the spine. And you watch as the initial strike cracks through a set of bony ribs and legs. And then as you watch the staff begin to vibrate and crack even further through additional bones upon impact.
I yell, hit it bluntly. I guess. And then I'll go ahead and use my bonus action to do another unarmed strike.
Well, you two-handed attack, so that would not work in this instance because you use both hands for a two-handed weapon. Because the way it works is if you had done a single hand, that's why I asked, then you could offhand with the other hand. But unfortunately, because you're using a two-handed strike, then it would be a singular attack. In the same way, unless you have extra attack with a barbarian, if you're swinging a greatsword and you don't have some sort of second attack type feature or offhand attack type feature, you cannot do that because it's considered a heavy weapon at that point.
Okay.
So just for reference, so you know in the future.
I kick it instead. No, I'm just kidding.
I kick sand in its eye. Pocket sand.
It's pocket sand. All right. I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't have any other. I don't think I have any other bonus actions. I mean, I guess I can. No, I don't have any key points, so I can't do that. Never mind.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's me. I guess I can move, but I don't know if there's any point in moving away. So.
Right. You would also
I guess
need
I should
to
move closer. Actually,
yeah, you would need to. There you go. Oh, while you're there, since you are flanking with trash, if you want to re-roll that, I'll allow it retroactively. If you want to re-roll, because you are flanking, technically, you do get advantage. See if you crit.
Sure. Okay. I'll roll it again real quick. Here we go. Nope.
Oh, okay. Still would have been a hit, but not a crit. Okay. So, but with that, Floof, we are back to you. What would you like to do, sir? This monstrosity of bone and pure hatred and nightmare fuel stares you down and hissing at you. What would you like to do?
In a fit of pure anger / confusion and disregarding what Dazes said about hitting it physically, I will raise my hand into the sky and drop it down, forcing a moonbeam on the head of this creature. That's the upper right corner, I guess, where its head is.
Hell yeah.
Nice, nice. Did I not put spell effects? I thought I did. Oh yeah, I did. Spell effect area. Here we go. You should be able to access Moonbeam. It should be in your journal under spell effects or spell effect area. There should be one in there under Moonbeam. There's Healing Spirit, and then there's a Beast token as well. Okay. One of you had Beast token, but I know Moonbeam is yours, so you should be able to drop that wherever you'd like. The same way you drop your character token.
Okay. Spell effect area, Moonbeam.
Yeah,
Right
so just there you go. You raise your hand up on high, and staring up at the moon clear above your head, not in its full format, but not far from it, drawing upon the light above. You drag your hand down, bringing down a column of radiant energy upon the head of this creature. Can you post the spell in chat for me? Forget the...
Yeah.
I know it's a con save, I believe.
Yeah.
40 foot high, 5 this. Con save, yeah, 2d10 radiant. Got it. So it's your, what's the DC? What's your spell save DC? Should be under your
Is that
spells. It should be up at the spells. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just, it's the same. It'll be under spell save DC.
Oh, 14.
14, got it. They rolled a, hold on, let me, this is important. It's very close. They rolled a 17, unfortunately. But they will take half damage, I believe, on a failed save. So roll 2d10, and we'll cut it in half.
Okay.
Check something else here. Yeah, 9 points reduced to 5. Draw down this radiant energy from the moon itself, casting a pillar of light upon this creature, laying its form to bear for all. Also spreading quite a bit of light, allowing you all to see quite clearly what you're doing in here.
That's nice.
Is there anything else you'd like to do, sir?
Nope. I only care about this thing dying right now.
Okay. Creature hisses and claws and swings out wildly. Since you cast that upon it, Floof, it is going to come after you first with its first attack.
Okay.
One of the heads.
Can I use Panda's reaction? Is
You can, absolutely, because that was a crit.
Oh!
So you're going to impose disadvantage?
Yes.
I was literally about to say that was a crit. I was holding it in my hand. I'm like, all right, let me roll again. Oh, you are so lucky. That was clutch.
Thanks, Panda.
He's like, meh.
That is a 15 to hit.
Misses.
What's your AC?
17.
17. Okay, yeah, absolutely. It swings out and bites with its mandibles, coming after you, missing entirely. But at the same time, the other head swings the other way, coming at you, Trash. Getting a 24 to hit.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah, that'll do it.
Okay. Doing 16 points of piercing damage as the mandibles come in and slash through your gelatin-like form. With that, we are back to you, Trash.
Oh, I'm in a lot of pain. Still want to help. And I can't even leave its area because then it'll get an attack of opportunity, which is not
Mhm.
good.
You could use your action to disengage, but you would burn your action to do so.
It would be disengage. Oh, like my action would be to disengage, and then I can
Yep.
like move.
If you want to move outside of melee of it.
I should do. Ugh, this kind of sucks because I can spend an action just to heal myself, just in case I need it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you are. Sorry, I'm just like weighing out my options. I don't know if this makes any sense, because
What are you trying to do?
I have, I just realized I also have invisibility.
Okay.
So I'm like, could I theoretically cast it and then try to move away without provoking an
It would
attack?
still get attack of opportunity, but it would be so at advantage because it can't see you.
I see. Okay.
Is the way that works.
Um.
So you can certainly take that risk and cast the spell.
mhm.
With invisibility, as soon as you take an attack action or cast another spell, you would
It'll go
not.
away, right?
Yeah, it'll go away. It's not greater invisibility stays.
Probably better off just I could probably tank like one more hit if it comes to that. So I'm just gonna go for damage just so that we can try to finish the thing off collectively as a team. Like that's just my thought process. So I'm actually gonna try to hit it.
Okay.
Best thing I got on my persons is yeah, I'm just gonna hit it with my I'm within melee range now.
Yes, you are.
Well, this is
So any ranged attacks would have disadvantage.
I was just thinking. This was
But you are flanking, so that would be offset by Dazes, though. So it would just be a regular roll.
Okay. So for example, if I was using a spell to attack where the other creature had to make a save or something like that, does flanking have anything to do with that? It's only for like
It's
if
just
you
for
are attacking, right?
It's for melee or ranged attacks. It is spell save DCs are not affected by that.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. Okay, well, because the flanking, it's just a straight roll, so I'm just gonna go for the crossbow then.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably my best move, so that's going to be 22.
22 absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay. So then damage is going to be nice. Okay. 13 damage.
Solid strike as you chip off a chunk of one of the skulls as it writhes and screeches out, echoing in the cavernous expanse.
Yep. I think that's it. I don't want to move yet, and
This creature is bloodied or chipped, bony. I don't know, horny. Doesn't have blood, so it's not really bloodied, but yeah, you get my point.
And then yeah, I'll have Panda quickly attack.
Okay.
Panda is so good at attacking. What the hell? 24 to hit.
24 absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Alright.
Another solid strike from Trash Panda.
Then it was G. Oh, not as good of a roll. It was 3 total damage.
Damage, every little bit counts. As the strike of force breaks off another small chunk of bone. Anything else you'd like to do?
For now, no.
Okay. Aziz, we are back to you. This creature writhes and slithers and bones scrape and the teeth between the mandibles gnaw. What would you like to do?
I'd like to hit it with a big stick.
Absolutely. Give it that big stick energy.
One-handed this time.
One-handed. All right, let's see it.
Do I still get advantages?
Yes, you are flanking, so you do have advantage.
Right. How does this work? Right click.
Yeah, right click and roll with advantage.
Oh, whoops. Okay. Well, that was just one roll, so I'll just do it again.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately that does not hit.
And neither does that.
Unfortunately that one does not hit either. Both attempts are the attempt coming down as this creature swings out of the way like a whip as the staff strikes against the earth.
Alright, well, I one-handed this time, so I can actually add the unarmed strike.
Okay, go ahead and make the unarmed strike.
Is it also an advantage or no?
Yes, it is, because you're still flanking. Any melee or ranged attacks when flanking are with advantage.
Gotcha. All right. Make
You're,
sure. All right. God, Jesus, man.
Fortunately, a 13 just misses.
I'm
That's tough.
flailing my arms
As the
around.
bones flail, and this time a spiny leg deflects the strike as you go to turn against one of the bones. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, I guess not.
Okay. Floof, we are back to you. Is the moonbeam on your turn, or is it on the creature's turn? I believe it's on...
I think it's on the creature's turn. I
Okay.
think it's anyone at the start of their turn if they're in it.
Okay, cool. Good looking out.
So, yep. With that being said, I will simply throw my spear at its head.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make a ranged attack. You're throwing the spear, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and throw the spear. 22 absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll for damage. You should
it
be
would be the one.
Yeah, it'd be the first one because you're throwing it. So 7? Yeah, absolutely. You strike true against one of the eye sockets, the head closest to you, as it screeches out and hisses back at you.
I'll just make a roaring, cool, angry yell, but maintain my position, and that'll be my turn.
Okay. I need to roll a con save. It roll. I think that's a failure, but let me double check. I forget this thing's con modifier. Yeah, that's a 12, which I don't think passes.
Yeah, 14 for me.
Okay, so go ahead and roll the 2d10, and they'll take the full damage this time around. Oof. Not the greatest damage, but still on the board.
Yep.
Them's the break
Take it.
sometimes. It is still looking quite wounded, but still quite able to move, and move it shall. As you watch as one of the heads burrows into the ground as it temporarily disappears from sight and appears opposite you. And, oops, I'm sorry, I had to move that out of the way. Getting out of the radiant light, appears on the other side of you and Dazes, making a strike against each of you.
Okay.
You, Floof, I get an 18 to hit.
That does hit.
All right. That is 14 piercing damage.
All right, I will react with my Stone's Endurance.
Okay.
So it'll reduce by 1d12 plus 2, so let's see.
And I also need a concentration check since you took damage while concentrating on Moonbeam.
Okay. So I reduced damage by 9.
Okay.
And what did you say it was? 12?
14.
14. Okay.
Then I need a concentration check of at least 10. So you'll make a Constitution saving throw, and you need to get at least a 10.
Okay.
I can't maintain concentration on Moonbeam.
Oh, a nat. Plus 2.
Absolutely. You hold solid, your anger fueling your focus as you stare this creature down and hold on to Moonbeam.
Okay.
The other head swings back at you, Dazes, whipping out with its mandibles to make another strike.
Please miss.
It's getting a 24.
Did not miss.
Dang, it did not miss.
It's a big fucking creature with big angry mandibles.
Roll a 1.
Not roll great on the damage though, only doing 8 piercing damage to you this time.
How many say 8?
8 piercing damage, 8 total. this time, it is going to use one of its legendary actions to take a third bite against you, Floof.
Okay.
Getting a 23 to hit.
Yep.
This time doing 15 piercing damage.
Oh,
I fall to the
my-
floor.
No.
You watch as Floof goes unconscious and the pillar of light disappears.
Oh.
Floof is unconscious on the ground. We're back to you, Trash. What would you like to do? You just watched as two large bony mandibles took your half-giant friend to the ground.
I have to. Yeah, I have to. Isn't much I can do. This is gonna be terrible. I don't want to just keep bringing you up just to like have you get knocked back down kind of thing, you know? I still have to spend an action to do that. Okay. I don't know. I would rather just bring him back up, so I'm just gonna cast Cure Wounds
Okay.
on where's my D8? Oh, this one's been rolling so good and bad. Please be good. Please be good.
Help me.
Okay. That's not bad. 7 + 4, so 11.
11 points. Floof, you feel the healing energies of Trash's touch as her plasmoid hand wraps around your wrist. You feel the healing light as you feel the wounds seal up, and your eyes pop open and breath enters your lungs. You are prone on the ground, but you are conscious.
Okay.
You're back to 11 hit points. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Trash?
I didn't even notice it moved.
Yeah, it used its bonus action to burrow and move.
Yeah, listen, otherwise Panda would have been on that distraction game, you know?
Damn it.
Okay.
You thought I was going to make this easy. Oh, it's just a bunch of little skeletons. They only have a handful of hit points. Second phase.
I moved, I did my action. Yeah, that's not much I can do here, but I will have 1, 2, 3, 4 to try to get that flanking bonus again, if possible.
Yep. Yeah,
So
you
I'll
got
move.
it.
So then it'll go advantage. Holy crap, was that oh my no! Those are terrible rolls.
Oh,
Rolled a 3 and a 2.
sad vantage. Sad vantage.
No.
No, that was horrendous. Oh god.
Fortunately, that does not make contact as the bony legs swat away your steel
Ugh.
defender's strike.
Well, okay, well, moved and action. Not much else I can do for me, at least. So my turn is done.
Okay. Aziz, we are back to you. Your friend is conscious once more, and you stare as you spin around. You watch as the head burrows up and crests out of the dirt as it had escaped below the earth to escape the beam of light. Now resides directly behind you.
Well, I'll turn around for one.
Okay.
And am I in the advantage where I am right now, or would I have to move?
If you moved up to the right, I think you would have flanking, essentially. I could say you would be able to share the space with Floof.
Okay.
Essentially, you could step over him because he's prone. So, yeah, it'd be a little awkward, and Kind of a bro moment, but, you know, when fighting
Well-
giant bony centipedes, you know, bro moments are going to happen.
I'll take it. Alright, well. Sorry.
I'm just-
wherever I need to be.
Figuring out what happened.
I'd imagine you were stepping up over Floof's knee and him giving a little push forward.
Mhm. And I will flail my limbs again, but hopefully I'll hit this time.
Okay.
Let's see. One hand quarterstaff first.
All right, let's see it with advantage. 30-20 absolutely hits. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Again, I don't know why it keeps rolling, but it's the D6.
It
so it's
rolls it
fine.
automatically. A solid strike from the side of the staff as you make perfect contact with the side of the face of this spiny centipede. And you watch as the impact, almost like a delayed pulse of energy from your magical weapon, almost like hitting a gong, you see the rippling effect against the bone as it strikes against this creature, making a severe impact. This creature is all but trying everything to maintain its form,
Alright, then. So
barely
D6
holding
again.
on.
My shot's not over here. Oops. Alright, let's see how this goes.
19 hits as well. Go ahead and roll for
Nice.
damage. How do you want to do this?
Nice.
Yes.
Describe to
is
me how
only
you
the head
just...
still sticking out of the ground?
Both heads are... this thing is completely emerged. It kind of sprung up, kind of, you know, Zelda-style centipede out of the ground. It is now fully breached, and just it was
Okay.
behind you.
Oh man, I mean it's just bone, right? How long is it? I know it's large. Like
This
10
is a
feet
large
long-ish.
creature. It's probably 10 to 12 feet long when it's fully stretched. From tip of mandible to tip of mandible.
I don't know, man. I mean, can I just?
You can describe how you want to kill this thing. You've killed
Yeah,
it.
I don't know.
Just tell me. Just tell me how you want to do this.
Okay.
Describe to me some crazy monk shit.
Yeah. So I did an unarmed strike, but I'm just gonna say for the sake of the death, I'm using my quarterstaff,
Yeah, absolutely.
and
I have no problem with that.
I'll make like I guess a leap upwards, like on top of it, and run like I guess essentially run along its length as I like kind of slash it into pieces with my quarterstaff, like from head to
Right.
head, like running on top of it. I
I
guess if
I
that makes
love
sense.
it. I imagine that
Nice.
you take a springboard sort of effort from Floof as he lays on the ground and pushes you up into the air onto the back of this creature. And as you run along its spine, kind of like a tightrope, slamming your staff back and forth on each side at the joints, you watch as the energies that hold this creature together are shattered asunder as the bits of bone crumble into dust. And the eyes, the blistering purple and reddish eyes at both ends of this creature's heads extinguish into black, empty skulls as they crumble into powder, leaving but a handful of cracked human bones on the ground.
And I'll also scream in deep speech just because it probably sounds cool.
I love it. What do you say in deep speech?
Death to the undead.
I love it. I love it.
Hell yeah.
as this creature is reduced to nothing more than powder and a few scraps of large remaining humanoid bones. You all look down. Oh, yeah, there's Floof. You all look down, and among these bones, Floof, again, you get that scent as Dazes had cracked multiple joints of these larger pelvic bones of what essentially would have been beasts of burden, oxen, sheep, rams, things of that nature, these large bones. You see softly pouring out of a handful of them this softly glowing blue liquid. Almost a suspension of crystalline liquid giving off a bit of shimmer from the moonlight over your head as you stare at the remains of this monstrous, aberrant creature.
Yeah, I'll stare at it. In wow, and also anger and sadness, because I know what this is, to some extent anyway. I'll explain that this is the same substance that was around when I found my dead mother. And
Not exactly.
okay.
It has a similar scent, but last time all you got that scent was mixed with the blood of your mother. This time, there is no blood as there is no flesh. This is pouring out where normally bone marrow would be settled within the structural pieces of the bone. Now drips out with this shimmering blue liquid from deep within the confines of each of these larger bone pieces. But it has a similar scent to the blood of your deceased mother.
Okay. Can I the bottle that's got that I put the flame that I was using before, could I empty whatever's in it and take a sample of it?
Sure. You go to stand up. You still quite sore from your ordeal. As you go to pour out the remains of the vial and scoop up a bit of this liquid, a voice echoes in your mind. Its source not yet seen, but you hear,
Stop! Don't touch it! Leave it be!
How do you react?
I stand up straight, weirdly alert, looking around, and I don't respond, but at first at least, just kind of try to figure out who it is or where it's coming from, if it sounds echoey or if it's coming from inside my head. I don't know, but I will ask. I'm like, who are you, or what are you?
At first, there is no response. You cannot quite comprehend the source of the voice that called to you. It's as if the voice itself was coming from within your own mind. It's not like you go to pinpoint its location in the cavern and yet it has no source. The voice simply echoes again in your mind.
I am here to find creatures like this. Do not touch that liquid.
Give me a perception check, Floof.
Okay. Oh, let's go.
26.
Nat 20. Yeah.
It is ever so subtle, as a cloud moves between the moonlight over the top of this cavernous space of rocky outcropping. You don't hear the source of the sound as the wind blows inward and circles this cavern in a clockwise direction as you clock the scent first before the sound of the voice. You look up on this pillar to the right-hand side behind you as a black leather cloaked figure wearing a long brimmed hat, leather straps and belts all over, pouches lined across their waist, a matching black cloak hanging down over their back. But the most pronounced feature of all is a wide goggled mask blocking their face with a long crow-like nose that extends off of the mask. As this individual crouches on the top of this pillared outcropping. And as the light shines across, you see one of the hands that holds down upon the rock is no mere appendage of flesh, but entirely mechanical. The right arm from the shoulder down gives a metallic sheen as the moonlight is cast upon it. As they stare down at your group from atop this pillar, and this is what you see. A long bird-like nose of a mask, covered with pitch black goggles, a wide, long-brimmed top hat, leather armor, black cloak, the metallic right arm that leans down and holds upon the tower of rock above you.
Do not touch it.
You hear in your head. Although you stare at this individual, Dazes and Floof, you hear no voice. Or Dazes and Trash, you hear no voice. You only see this this individual staring at you all. Floof, you're the only one to hear this voice in your head.
I'll yell back. Did you kill my mother?
I kill no one who does not deserve it.
I'll yell even louder. Answer the question.
Who is your mother? I have traveled across this continent many times.
I'll describe, a bear from the woods of... Crap, I don't have my...
Aelinwalt.
Aelinwalt. I found her dead with, a similar substance to this. And I've not yet found the killer.
While this conversation is going on, Dazes and Trash, you hear none of this conversation from this individual's end, but you see the individual atop this rocky outcropping as they step down now to your level and approach the stack of bones and the liquid pouring out. Slowly, but assertively. this ominous cloaked figure approaching, and as they do, they flip back their cloak. Around their waist, you see a number of surgical tools stretched across their belts. Pouches filled with herbs, vials, various arcane implements, and spell-casting ingredients, as well as syringes, apothecary supplies, medical tools, scalpels. Although sanitary in their movements, nonetheless disturbing as they kneel down upon the bones. While this conversation is going on, Dazes and Trash, what are you doing?
I'd like to. Could I lunge at the throat of this creature?
You can certainly try.
I will.
Try to poke him.
Okay. As you go to attack, you watch as the flesh hand and the eyes turn, at least the semblance of the eyes, as the goggles turn to look at you. The hands outstretched as a soft purplish light emanates from the palm of their hand. Floof, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
Okay.
That's with disadvantage?
I think so. Wait, hold on. Wisdom.
'Cause if so, that's the craziest disadvantage roll I've ever seen.
Alright, so wisdom. Because my base is 18 plus it's, and then it's plus 4. But yeah, I think I did it.
Wisdom saving throw. Not wisdom check.
Okay.
Wisdom saving throw, and you'll roll 2d20 and take the lower.
Okay. I'm just gonna roll 2 and
Yeah, and then
and
you
we'll
would
take the
add
lower
your-
one.
Yeah.
Oh well. I can't get lower than that, so critical fail.
You all watch as this soft purple orb flutters out from the hand of this individual. As Floof charges in a blind rage, this soft light flutters into their chest. You watch as the form of Floof falls to the ground. And on the ground you see a small, timid-looking cub of a bear.
Oh shit.
Damn, he de-aged you.
No, you are in the form of a bear cub right now. You retain your mental stats,
Okay.
but your physical stats are essentially all at 8
Okay.
right now. So they would all be in your strength, dexterity, and constitution would be all a -1 at the moment.
Fun.
As you are
Okay.
basically an infant cub.
Yeah, I mean, I
You hear
I'm gonna-
this. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna still try to attack it.
You watch as the
Pissed.
metal hand reaches down and grabs you by the scruff of your neck, looking up at you. And then the goggled man turns to you, Dazes. You hear in your mind,
I mean you all no harm. Please see that your friend can contain their anger.
as the individual walks to you and drops the bear cub into your lap.
In my lap.
Yes.
Alright.
You now hold the bear cub Floof in your arms. as he's swinging out towards this individual.
For the record, I am trying to push off of Dazes to.
Okay, Dazes, are you going to restrain him, or are you going to allow him to go?
Restrain him, yes.
Okay.
Or I guess attempt to restrain him.
Okay, you can make a roll me a d20, Floof, and subtract 1 from it.
Okay. 11.
Dazis, go ahead and roll me either an acrobatics or athletics check in opposition to hold him.
I'll do the better one.
Okay. Yeah. You are able to kind of juggle this struggling bear cub for the moment.
I'll give up trying to push off, and for however a bear could look like, or a cub could look like he's very sad and crying, and that's what I'm doing.
Floof, you hear in your mind once more.
I vaguely remember that day. I did not harm your mother. I merely extracted what naturally occurred in their form. Corruption that is rampant in this world. Corruption you all just witnessed firsthand. As I said previously, I do not harm those who do not require it. I am not a mindless killer. I'm an individual of understanding, of knowledge. I simply seek to know the truth. Your mother was a victim of this world's circumstances like many before her.
You watch. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say my eyes widen and tears continue to fall. Am I able to talk back in my mind, or am I just?
Yeah.
Do I just listen?
Yeah, you could talk back in your mind to this individual, even though you're a bear cub. All
Okay.
you hear, Trash and Dazis, is the whimpering of this bear cub as Floof attempts to talk in his mind.
Did we hear all that dialogue, though, about how...
The only dialogue that Aziz heard was when this individual directly spoke to him in his mind. The only dialogue that you have heard, Trash, is that of your companions.
I'll ask, who did it? Who killed my mother? Do you know?
Your mother was the victim of an uncruel world. The greed of many over many millennia. A combined total of thousands of years of such corruption upon this continent. This is not the first and not the last.
How do we stop this?
Do you truly wish to know?
Yes. I need to know.
Give me a persuasion check.
I sense eagerness in you, child, but you are not ready. You are not ready to understand the cruelty of this world. Maybe someday, but not today.
I'll plead. I am ready. I am the cruelty of this world.
No, 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 no. No, you are not.
You understand so little of what drives this world. No.
I'll say, who are you then? What do they call you?
I am simply a lonely investigator. I chose to forego my name many years ago. If you have to call me something, you can refer to me as Dr. Nightingale. That is what those who disagree with my methods tend to refer to me as.
While this is going on, Dazes and Trash, what are you doing?
I basically have no idea what the fuck is going on.
I'm holding a bear cub, apparently.
A really cute
I
bear
mean-
cub, for the record.
Fair enough.
Anybody who's listening that's like awesome artist, we need fan art of this, please. Please.
Actually, yeah, I would look at that.
We need a picture of Dazes holding a struggling Floof bear cub.
I guess I know I heard this dude speak in my mind, so I know he speaks in mind. So I guess I'll explain to Trash real quick that this weird whoever speaks in your mind, I guess. I guess that's all I know. I don't think I would be able to discern that Floof and this thing are having a full conversation right now.
All you can hear is the whimperings and, grunts and moans of the bear cub. Now a bit more controlled in your arms, not struggling, but, still making noise as it stares directly at this individual.
Can I try to push away maybe a little more calmly from Aziz to...
Aziz, do you allow this, given
Yeah.
the circumstances?
I guess so. I mean, I feel like I probably noticed that he was not struggling as much anymore.
Okay.
I'd like to crawl
No,
over
just,
and...
like, put you down. I just put you down.
Okay. I crawl over and maybe pull on his little robe and say, "Please let me help end these sorrows for myself and others."
Give me one more persuasion check.
I guess while this is happening, we can help the two people get up.
Yeah, if you'd like, you can certainly try that.
Child, this world is utterly broken. Broken by the misunderstanding of mortal men, by greed, and by zealous gods who know nothing of the children they rent upon this world. If you really seek to understand this world, what tears it asunder from within, you must understand where the source of all magic on this continent descends from. The source of all magic and life upon this continent is the truest source of knowledge that you will ever learn. Only then can I seek to help you.
Will you point me in a direction to find the source?
You watch as the individual reaches into one of their pouches and pulls out a notepad of stitched together parchment, twined and wrapped together. Drawing upon it a mysterious symbol, almost trident-like, but in reverse. Turning in a sort of crescent moon-like shape with a central pike jetting directly downwards.
I seek to find this. If you can assist me with this endeavor, perhaps then we can exchange knowledge as equals of this world.
Feeling a little defeated, but glad to have got some kind of path. I'll, I guess, with my little paws, grab it and kind of paw at it on the ground.
You watch as the hand snaps the fingers, and the spell that kept you in stasis as this ineffective cub deteriorates, and in a cloud of purplish white mist, you return to your humanoid normal form as Floof.
I'll stay on my knees, kind of looking up at him and just crying, like, with a bit of relief to have learned something about what happened to my mother and having a path, but also feeling very unimportant and inadequate. But we'll be trying to get to the bottom of this. And I'll nod up at him, thankfully.
Understanding one's purpose, understanding one's place in this world is the first step in learning how to break free from one's fate. Find what you can about that symbol. And perhaps we can talk again.
I will find the answers. I swear on my mother.
You watch as this individual walks around the site, making sort of observations at what occurred here, moving about with a calm sort of poise and intricate eye and motions, moving about, occasionally looking at you all. And as they approach the two individuals who were injured, they then turn when they see you, Trash. And you hear in your mind,
Little one, from where do you hail?
Nowhere and then everywhere all at once.
sorry. Great movie reference there.
But then, I do say Tier Helm.
May I?
And they stretch out their hand towards you in a respectful but inquisitive manner.
What are you looking to do?
To understand the secrets that this world has given us.
I will extend my hand.
Your hand comes within close contact with their leather-gloved hand, the left hand, the non-metallic one. And as your plasmoid form touches down in the palm of their hand, you feel this sort of soft yellowish light begin to emanate as the goggled mask and eyes stare down at your form. And you've seen this spell being cast before, but never on a person. You've seen this spell cast by members of the Magistrate several times, actually. This is the Identify spell. And this individual is casting it on you. You watch as the magical energy circulate over your form. And whereas normally your plasmoid form has a yellowish, greenish hue, for the briefest of moments, it takes on a soft, bluish, faint glow before they lower their hand and look at you closely.
I see. Astounding. Never before would I have thought the world to create such life. What a profound discovery. Thank you, little one.
How do you react?
Just that, this is something that I've been trying to search, for answers pretty much my whole life, so it's just...
Your friend seeks answers as well. And I sense quite the inquisitive mind in you. You would both do well to seek out the source of that symbol. The time is right and you feel you've discovered such a clue of this world. Contact me again.
And at that moment you watch as they snap their fingers, and in a almost like the pages of a folding book, you watch their form fold in half and vanish into a singularity and completely out of your sight.
I'm broken on the ground crying.
And with that, I think that's a good stopping point for tonight.
Okay.
I think that is quite a good stopping point. We're climbing up on 4 hours here, so, and it's almost midnight for some of everybody, or past midnight actually. So
Yeah.
I think that is a grand old stopping point. But I'm super excited. I wanted to reveal that character for so long. Oh,
I love a good mysterious, knowledgeable character like that. Kind of show up and do stuff like that. That seems cool.
right. And for those who may be wondering what that was, some people may have figured it out, but that was a polymorph spell. Most of the time when people cast polymorph, it's voluntary. This was not. That's why there was a saving throw.
Okay. I had fun being a little bear cub for a minute.
But yeah, with that huge cliffhanger, we will see where things go from here as our party continues their journey northward along the Jamila River, having saved 2 of 3 nobles from imminent death. Now making the trek back to the Railway Tavern, starting in our next episode.
Nobles owe us. Let's go.
Yep.
And
Exciting.
and I think it's time that you guys leveled up to level 5
Woo!
with that
I like it.
stupendous little boss fight, as well as that little confusing lore bomb for you guys. I think level 5 seems relatively appropriate.